And we have more people coming in from the waiting room.
Excuse me, Judge. Good afternoon.
Oh, okay, I need you. Good afternoon. If you're just joining us, please put yourself on mute until I call your case. All right, Ms. Fish, are you here? Ms. Fish? On Nagy?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Juan Delgado for Monica Fish, sir.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Delgado. You've got Nagy
sir.
with Scott Harrell.
Yes, sir, with Thomas Nagy, sir. Officer Scott Harrell.
Right, and Officer Scott Harrell, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. Mr. Delgado, you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir. I was trying to see if we can get an offer to resolve this, sir.
You can have an offer, of course, but based on your client's record, it's an adjudication. Do you want the rest of the offer?
Yeah, I think we'll set it for a hearing at that point, sir.
Well, okay, we're here for a hearing, so you either can take the offer or we'll have the hearing right now.
Yeah, we'll take the hearing, sir.
Okay, and where are you, Scott Harrell? I heard you.
I'm right here, Your Honor.
Okay, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, Corporal Harrell, go ahead. Tell me about this ticket, please.
All right. Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is a speed case. It was November 17th of last year at approximately 3 p.m. I was conducting speed enforcement along Collier Boulevard in the area of Winding Cypress Boulevard. I was operating stationary laser when I observed a white Mercedes two-door approaching me at higher than posted speed limit. I visually estimated the vehicle of 80 miles per hour. I activated my laser. I received a clear Doppler tone as well as a digital readout of 81 miles per hour. This was in a 50 mile per hour speed zone. I conducted a traffic stop. I identified the driver as a Tomas Nagy by his Florida issued driver's license, and I issued him a citation for speeding of 81 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone. This did all occur in Collier County.
All right, thank you, Mr. Delgado. Any cross?
Yes, Your Honor. Before I start, Your Honor, I just want to notice, looking on the docket here, I don't have the officer's certification and maintenance record here on the docket, sir. I don't know if it was sent in later or if I just don't have access to that, Your Honor.
Everything was submitted, Your Honor, and I have photocopies of everything. My certification, my logs, everything was submitted.
All right, well, give me just a minute, and perhaps I can screen share that for Mr. Delgado. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm about to screen share for you, Mr. Delgado. While I'm doing that,
actually, Your Honor, I was able to find it here. I did find
okay.
it. It was just multiple pages here. It was on the citation. I was able to find it, Your Honor. My mistake.
Okay. Any cross?
1 second. Let me look at this. Speed testing. That's the main argument. That's certification. Yes, Your Honor. Just a few questions here.
Go ahead.
Officer Harley, were you able to make an independent visual determination that the vehicle was operating in excess of the applicable speed limit?
Yes, I was. Yes, I visually estimated the vehicle at 80 miles per hour.
Okay, and Officer Harley, were you also using radar with no automatic speed locks, no audio alarms up, sir?
This was laser, as I testified to. It was static laser.
No further questions at this time, Your Honor.
Argument?
Yes, Your Honor. So my only argument here is my client does, of course, dispute he was going 81 into 50. As you can see by his driving history, it's been 3 years since his last traffic infraction, Your Honor.
Okay, anything else?
No, Your Honor. That's all we have here.
All right, based on the testimony, I find the infraction did occur, adjudication, $300 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. For all cases, there's 30 days to contact the clerk of courts to either pay in full or work out a payment plan with the clerk. So your client has the option of making monthly payments.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Delgado. Have a good day.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Officer Harrell, don't go anywhere. You're next. Before I call the next case, are there any officers who plan to ask me to dismiss the ticket? If so, you don't need to wait. You can speak up now.
Yes, sir. Corporal Elias.
Corporal Elias, okay. And who do you have, please?
I have Quintilla Crystal Gale.
Is the last name Crystal?
Quintilla.
Oh,
It's Quintanilla.
There you
Crystal
go.
Quintanilla.
Yes, sir.
And this is 20 TR 27812. And this is the officer's request to dismiss. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that case is dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any others?
I'm free to leave
Before
at this point, correct?
Yes, you're free
Thank
to go.
you.
Any others? Okay, do we still have, let's see, Corporal Harrell, you have Jurek with Mr. Levy. Jurek
Yes, Your Honor.
with Mr. Levy.
Good morning, Your Honor, or good afternoon, sorry. It's been a long day.
Good afternoon, where are you? That's okay, you're here. Okay, Mr. Levy, you ready for a hearing in Jurek?
Judge, so I didn't actually set this for hearing. The previous traffic court judge did. She was not willing to make an offer at the time. I'm wondering, prior to proceeding to hearing, is the court able to make an offer? And what that
Yes,
offer?
with an adjudication.
Judge,
you
in
want to
that
hear
case,
it?
yeah, I would like to hear it if that's all right.
The offer is an adjudication, $400 fine, plus costs, and an 8-hour course.
Okay, Judge, I think in that case, I would like to point out one thing. I don't have any cross-examination. I've received all the discovery from the officer. I don't have any questions for him. I just would like to make a bit of an argument to see if it may improve the offer or potentially, I mean, the motion is to dismiss the citation.
Actually, I'm looking at this. Is this, Corporal, is this written as 50 or more over?
Hold on a second, Your Honor.
I believe it is, 3/16/1926-2. So this is written up and cited
sir.
as in excess of 50 miles per hour over the speed limit, which would actually mandate a $1,000 fine.
That's correct, Judge.
Okay,
Judge,
Mr. Levy, go.
I would proceed to actually, is it possible, Judge, to have a conversation with Corporal Harrell prior to see if we can work something out between us? Or I'm ready to proceed to hearing, but I wanted to speak to the officer prior if it's possible.
Well, okay, I'm not sure how you can do that. Do you guys want to, you can put yourselves on mute and try to contact each other via cell, or you can ask if he'd be willing to call your office.
Corporal Harrell,
Yeah, I don't know, but Counsel, I don't really know what we'd be able to work out. He was racing another vehicle, and he was at 100 miles per hour.
Fair enough.
I know he's got a decent record, so.
That's fine. We can proceed to hearing in that case, Your Honor.
All right, and he's already under oath. Corporal Harrell, go ahead. Tell me about this
All right.
ticket, please.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is a speed case. It was
Okay, folks, if you're not involved in this case, please put your audio on mute. Corporal, go ahead.
okay. We good? All right. This is a speed case, Your Honor. It was November 10th of last year at approximately 3:18 in the afternoon. I was conducting speed enforcement in the area of Collier Boulevard and Winding Cypress Boulevard. I was conducting stationary laser enforcement in the area. I noticed a dark and colored sports car approaching me at an extremely high rate of speed. I visually estimated the vehicle at 100 miles per hour. I activated my agency-issued laser. I received a Doppler tone as well as a digital readout of 100 miles per hour. This is in a 50 mile per hour zone. And I conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle. I identified the driver as a Joseph Ryan Jurek by his Florida-issued driver's license, and I did issue him a citation for speeding of 100 miles per hour in a 50 mile per hour zone. This did all occur in Collier County. The driver was also, I'll say he was racing. He was with another vehicle, which was a Chevy Camaro. I also pulled that vehicle over and issued them a citation as well. The driver stated at the time of the stop that he had the Camaro come up on him in an aggressive manner and accelerate. So he accelerated even more. And then he said he stated that it only happens every once in a while, this type of behavior. And that is everything I have, Your Honor.
All right, Cross.
Yeah, Corporal Harrell, did you, how would you describe my client's demeanor with you? Was he polite, respectful, or was he combative and challenging?
No, he was polite. I don't see the relevance, but he was polite.
Okay, and my next question is, did you indicate anywhere on the citation the civil penalty, the applicable civil penalty?
Of, you mean of a fine or anything?
Correct.
No, I did not. Whatever prints out on the penalty, because there is, I couldn't put anything on there because it's up to the judge to set the fine and a penalty. Fair
enough. Thank you. Judge, I do have some argument. I have no further questions. Judge, at this time, I'm going to make a motion to dismiss the citation pursuant to section 318.14, paragraph 2, Florida statutes. Judge, essentially, there are two things an officer has to do when he issues a citation for an offense requiring a mandatory court date. The defendant must sign the citation, and also it must indicate the applicable civil penalty established in section 318.18 Florida statutes. Judge, my position is that the citation that has been issued is a charging document. It's a legal charging document, and because it is insufficient, it should be dismissed. It does not include an applicable civil penalty. There is no penalty on the citation, and the officer just testified that it does not have the amount.
Do you have any case law to support your argument that the omission of that applicable civil penalty is dispositive and requires a dismissal?
Judge, I don't have any case law, but it's plain as day in the statute. Must indicate the applicable civil penalty established in section 318.18. I assume, Judge, the officer is welcome to try to correct it and serve my client, just like an information in a county or circuit court. It's applicable that he could correct it if he likes. However, it's my position that the charging document is not sufficient.
All right, well, it's too late to correct. Any correction has to be made prior to the hearing, and we've just concluded the hearing. So I will take this under advisement, and I'll rule on your motion in chambers. If I agree with you, obviously I'll grant the motion and enter an order dismissing the citation. If not, based on my testimony, I'll find that the infraction did occur and impose the applicable penalty. But that'll be it for Mr. Jurek. Again, I'll take that under advisement.
Judge, I just want to add one last thing. My client did preemptively, as a measure of good faith, complete a 12-hour driver improvement course that is posted in the court file, just for your reference.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And thank you, Judge.
Your Honor and counsel, I did submit the signed citation as well. It is in with all of my exhibits, so.
I do have that. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Both.
Thank you, counsel.
All right.
Thank you, officer.
Okay, Mr. Grossman has Florestal with Deputy Bungard.
Good afternoon, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Grossman and Deputy Bungard here as well. Mr. Grossman, you ready to proceed?
Judge, may I just inquire of the deputy quickly? I may be able to resolve this.
Sure, go ahead.
Deputy, the ticket does not indicate what speed measuring device you utilized. Can you tell me what speed measuring device was utilized in citing this particular person?
His radar, speed case, stalker device.
Okay. And the documents that you provided ahead of the hearing, it does not include your 6-month certificate for that particular device? Do you have that?
It's submitted in the court documents as the exhibit.
The only thing that I was able to obtain was the PACE device certification and then the daily log.
No, there's all 3 documents. There's 3 documents in there.
Judge, would I have an opportunity to pass this for a moment? I'll double check, but I printed out what I could find.
Sure, I can also screen share it for you if you'd like.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. If you can do that, that'll speed up because I'm not very technologically savvy.
Well, I said I can do that with great confidence. Let's see if that actually works.
Well, it always helps to be confident at the front end.
258.98.
and I'm
Yeah,
confident
think
that
I
I will
got
have a
it
long
here.
time to get it.
Can you see that?
Oh, actually, I do see that. I didn't get that, but it looks like, what's the unit number on that? The 4213? It's hard to tell. My eyesight's bad. All right, it appears he has his 6-month, and that was July 7th, as well as the, oh, you did both on that date.
And I've got a couple, there's 3 pages here, and I'll go back and give you as much time as you need.
No, I'm fine with that one. And then there's a certificate for his actually being trained on that laser device?
The radar
radar.
device.
Sorry, radar device? Was there another one?
I'm going to show you. I've got, it's all one exhibit, right, Deputy? 3 pages.
Yes, Your Honor. It's 3 pages, 1
All
exhibit.
right, so that's page 1, page 2, and I'll scroll down.
I'm good with that. That's for Pace. He didn't use that.
And the final page.
So there's no certificate of your training for the stalker unit?
Radar certification?
Yeah,
Training? No, that's not.
because that would be something that would be required in the documents to show that you could actually use the stalker.
What I was told it was required was the documents that were actually my radar log, radar certification, and my speedometer.
Right. Don't need the speedometer, but we do need that. Judge, I believe that the document that provides us information on his being trained for utilizing the stalker would need to be there, and it's not.
I agree. It's got to be there upon request, and you're requesting it. And Deputy Bungard, you agree it's not there, right?
Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Grossman? your
Judge,
position
based on that, I'd move to dismiss dismiss the case due to the fact that the documents are not up to snuff.
Granted.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Judge, may I be excused? It's my only one.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hoffender here on Quijada with Trooper Taruse.
Excuse me, Judge.
Hello.
Judge. Your Honor?
Where are you? I'm looking for you.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Hey, before you get started on this, it's Officer Miller. I have Mr. Iglesias. I would like to dismiss his ticket. I have no recollection of the ticket.
That is Dariel Iglesias, 20 TR 27573 with Mr. Morales, who may be here somewhere.
My case,
that
Your Honor.
ticket
I'm
is-
standing in for Mr. Morales, Michael Zeman.
All right, and Mr. Zeman, that ticket is dismissed. Officer's request. Thank you, Officer Miller.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm looking for Trooper Taruse. Trooper Taruse on Quijada.
Yes, Your Honor. How you doing?
I'm all right. There you are. Thank you. And do we have Mr. Hoffender?
Yes, Judge. I'm here, Hoffenden. Good afternoon, Judge.
I'm sorry, Hoffenden. I can't read my own writing. Okay, Mr. Hoffenden, are you ready for a hearing in this case?
Judge, if there's only, frankly, there's just one discrepancy with the documentation. I believe the officer can answer one question. You pretty much my client would be inclined to just change her plea and,
Sure.
ask the court. The only question is that on the ticket itself, the trooper indicated that the certification on the laser expired August 14th, 2020, but he's provided the evidence that said that the laser measuring speed device, it said has this date August 21st, 2020. Can the trooper just clarify? So it was certified on that date, or is that just a typo?
Yes. So I just wanted to clarify that although it states on the citation that the certification expired on August 14th, 2020, it was recalibrated on August of 2020. And I just forgot to update it on the citation profile that we have, because every time we click which device we used, it automatically pre-populates everything that we've already have saved about that device. So I just forgot that portion.
Okay, well, Judge, based upon that, we're just, we'd inquire as to what is being offered, and we're requesting the court take into consideration that the last time this particular defendant received a ticket was back in 2013, which is over 7 years ago.
The offer is they withhold 200 plus costs.
That sounds fine, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you both.
Have a nice day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. All right, and Mr. Zeman is here on one remaining case. I know that Iglesias was just dismissed. You also have Garcia Borrego with Trooper Sarah Lantigua.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the trooper here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Trooper is here. Mr. Zeman?
Yes,
You
Your
ready
Honor.
for a hearing?
Your Honor, I would just ask if you could screen share the documents with me.
Sure.
And Trooper, do you have an independent recollection on this?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Okay, we've got 4 pages, and I'll scroll down slowly and change. If you need to go back, let me know. You need to see any of those again?
If I could just have 1 second, Your Honor.
Sure.
If I can just see the certification on the radar one time, please. Looks good, Your Honor.
Okay.
Do you have an offer on this, Your Honor?
I do. This is Garcia. The offer is a withhold 200 plus cost and a 4-hour course.
We'll enter no contest and accept that, Your Honor.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you,
good
Trooper.
day.
Yeah.
You as well.
Your Honor,
All
I
right.
believe this case may be dismissed.
Yes, sir. Thank you and have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Todd, are you here?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Several cases. Let's start with Gene Hilaire. Corporal Carver, are you here?
Yes, sir. I'm here, Judge.
All right, Mr. Todd, you ready for a hearing?
That's correct.
All right, Corporal, can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to
Yes,
tell
sir.
the truth, the truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do. Yes, sir. I do.
All right. Okay.
Prior to testifying, sir, can I make an amendment to the citation?
You may.
Sir, on my Stalker DSR 2X serial number, it's going to be Delta Bravo 010010. It actually deducted one of the zeros in the serial number, so I just wanted the court to clarify that.
All right, I see that. It just says 100 and then the number 10, and it should be 0100.
Yes, sir. And also, you only have a certain amount of space to put in there. And it was actually, I utilized the stalker, but he actually ran out of my stalker range, and I was able to pace the vehicle also.
All right. So the amendment is duly noted. Mr. Todd, do you need any time to consider that amendment, or are you still ready to proceed?
Your Honor, I'm prepared to proceed. I'm grateful for the amendment. I understand the issue. It doesn't affect my strategy. No objections.
All right. Thank you. Corporal Carver, go ahead and tell us about this ticket, please.
Yes, sir. Sunday in Curry County in Immokalee, Florida on May 10th, 2020, 2:32 in the afternoon. I was traveling northbound on State Road 29. I observed a white vehicle traveling southbound at a high rate of speed. I visually estimated the speed to be approximately 110 miles per hour. I turned on my front same antenna on my dual stalker radar, received a reading of 114 miles per hour. I turned on the vehicle, and while attempting to catch the vehicle, which took me approximately 2.5 miles, I was able to pace the vehicle at 115 miles per hour. activated my emergency LED lights, conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle, made contact with the driver, identified by his driver's license, and issued him a citation. Subject was released from the scene.
All right, and all of this occurred in Collier County?
Correct, sir.
All right, Cross?
Yes, sir. Afternoon, Corporal.
Afternoon, sir.
While you were conducting your pace, you were traveling the same direction immediately behind the target vehicle?
Absolutely, sir.
Okay. Approximately how long of a distance or time were you following at that consistent speed to establish that pace?
Approximately 2.5 miles.
Okay. No other questions. Thank you, Corporal. Just a motion, Your Honor.
Well, I have a follow-up question.
Yes, sir.
Just because you probably said this, Corporal, I may have missed it in my notes. I know your visual estimate was 110, paced at 115, confirmed at 114, and then paced after the 2.5 miles. What was the
Yes,
speed
sir.
limit at that location, please?
It was 60 miles per hour, sir.
60. All right, thank you. Yes, sir. Mr. Todd, any follow-up questions in response to those?
Nothing further.
All right, go ahead with your argument.
I withdraw that motion. You clarified the discrepancy.
Okay, any argument?
No, Your Honor.
All right, based on the testimony, I find the infraction did occur. Corporal Carver, this is also written up as in excess of 50 miles per hour or more over the speed limit, and therefore it's an adjudication of guilt, a $1,000 fine plus costs and an 8-hour course.
Thank you, sir.
Corporal.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And the next case with Mr. Todd is Lozado. You actually have 2 cases. Trooper Morris, are you here?
Yes, sir.
All right. Trooper, Mr. Todd, actually, are you ready for a hearing for Mr. Lozado?
That's correct.
Trooper, can you raise your right hand to take an oath?
Yes, sir.
You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we've got 2 tickets for Mr. Lozado. One is speed, one is DL not carried. Tell me about both citations, please.
Yes, sir. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but this is concerning the DL not carried charge. On Wednesday?
That's one of them. Sorry?
Okay. I only received the notice for that one, sir.
For the DL not carried?
Yes, sir.
That was on October the 7th, actually that's the speed, October 20th. Excuse me, October 7th, 2020. And the DL not carried, I'm guessing was the same date.
Correct.
And it was October 7th, 2020. So we've actually got 2 tickets for Mr. Lozado. You were not noticed for the speed though. And if
No,
you don't
sir,
have
just-
an independent, just the DL not carried.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you don't have an independent recollection, then I can continue the hearings to give you a chance to prepare.
Yes, sir. Just for the speed. I can testify for the DL not carried, but not the speed. I don't have those documents in.
Okay. And I'm happy to proceed on the DL not carried. If the attorney chooses to do that, he may want to keep both of them together. So Mr. Todd, we've got a request to continue the speed so that he can prepare. He just didn't receive notice. I can proceed on one and not the other, or continue both.
Let's continue both, Your Honor. Thank you.
So let's see, Trooper Morris, we're going to keep them together. And so the next time we're here, we'll have a hearing on both the speed and the DL not carried. Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir.
All right. Tommy, do we have another court? Would it be 4/14?
Yes, April 14th.
April 14th at 1:30 for both cases with Mr. Lozado.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Trooper.
sir.
Yes, sir. And Mr. Todd, your next case is Aguero Marino with Trooper Ellisaint.
Yes, Your Honor.
Trooper, are you here?
I'm here, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
All right, good afternoon. Mr. Todd, yes, sir.
We'll proceed to a hearing, Your Honor.
Trooper, can you raise your right hand?
Your Honor,
Take an
this
oath, please? Yep. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, and what were you going to say?
As far as the defendant name, Your Honor?
This is Gary Aguero Marino, Aguero Marino.
Yes, Your Honor. I've got it.
All right, and this is a speeding ticket. Trooper, are you ready to proceed?
I am.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and tell me about this ticket.
Yes, Your Honor. This occurred on October 27, 2020. And it was approximately 7:45 p.m. I was stationary on the median near mile marker 96. I was facing westbound traffic, and I was running stationary radar. It's when I observed the vehicle traveling west at a high rate of speed on the inside lane, overtaking traffic ahead. I visually estimated the vehicle to be traveling at 90 miles an hour. I activated my radar speed measuring device, and I received a reading of 91 miles per hour by display in a clear, steady audio Doppler tone consistent with the vehicle's speed. The speed limit on this road is 70 miles per hour. I initiated a lawful traffic stop. I made a passenger side approach. I introduced myself and stated the reason for the stop. I asked if there was a legal reason for his action. He said, I don't speak English. I requested a driver's license, registration, and insurance. I asked if the address on his license was correct. He said yes. I identified the driver by the picture on his Florida driver's license as Mr. Gary A. Marino. He had no passenger in the vehicle, excuse me. The driver was then cited for speed and the traffic stop was concluded. This all occurred in Collier County.
Cross.
Sir, Trooper, you testified that the vehicle appeared to be traveling above the posted speed limit and was passing another vehicle. At which point did you receive your digital speed reading?
The vehicle was overtaking traffic ahead, which means it was behind traffic, approaching rapidly. That's when I clocked the vehicle.
Okay, it had not yet passed another vehicle, it was just closing in?
Yes.
Does your stalker radar have a fastest mode?
It does.
Were you utilizing the fastest mode at the time of your observation?
No, the target speed, the fastest mode was not active at the time.
Okay, no other questions. Thank you, Trooper.
Argument?
Nothing further.
All right, Trooper, based on your testimony, I find that the infraction did occur, adjudication, 200 plus costs, and a 4-hour course. And Trooper, don't go anywhere. You've got the next case as well, and that's Diaz Cruz, also with Mr. Todd. Last name Diaz Cruz. Mr. Todd, you ready for a hearing in this one?
Yes, Your Honor.
Looks like. Trooper, how about you?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, you're already under oath. Can you tell me about this case, please?
This was on November 10th, 2020. It was approximately 6:56 p.m. I was traveling east on I-75 State Road 93. I was near mile marker 97. I was running opposite moving radar. That's when I observed the vehicle traveling west at a high rate of speed on the inside lane with no other vehicle present. I visually estimated the vehicle to be traveling at 100 miles per hour. I activated my radar speed measuring device and received the reading of 103 miles per hour by display in a clear, steady audio Doppler tone. It was consistent with vehicle speed. The speed limit on this road is 70 miles per hour. I then initiated a lawful traffic stop. I made a passenger side approach. I introduced myself and stated the reason for the stop. I asked if there was a legal reason for his action. He said, I know I was speeding. I'm sorry, my baby's not feeling well. I asked if they needed EMS. They said no, just a stomach issue. They don't need EMS. I requested a driver's license, registration, and insurance. I identified the driver by the picture on his Florida driver's license as Michelle Diaz Cruz. He had 2 passengers in the vehicle. The driver was then cited for speed and traffic stop was concluded, and this all occurred in Collier County.
All right, thank you. Mr. Todd, Cross.
Yes, sir. Trooper, you're conducting moving radar front antenna opposite direction, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Are you aware of how your stalker dual radar computes a patrol speed?
Am I aware of how it computes that?
Well, I'll rephrase the question. Does your stalker dual radar compute its own moving patrol speed, which it would subtract? Yeah. Okay. And you testified that the vehicle appeared to be traveling in excess of the posted speed limit with other vehicles around. How were you able to make that observation?
There were no other vehicle present at the time.
Okay, but the vehicle you testified that the vehicle appeared to be traveling in excess of the posted speed limit. What visual observations did you make that would tend to support that conclusion?
As how fast the vehicle approaches me and the surrounding areas. There's guardrail, trees, and posted signs.
Okay, nothing further. Thank you.
Argument?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, Trooper, based on your testimony, I find the infraction did occur. It's an adjudication, $350 plus costs and a 4-hour course. Thank you, Trooper.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Todd, you also have Esau with Corporal Mercado.
Yes, Your Honor, we'll proceed.
Corporal. All right, Corporal Mercado, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can you raise your right hand to take an oath?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
All right, Eric Esau, can you tell me about this ticket, please?
Yes, sir. On November 9th, 2020, at approximately 11 o'clock in the morning, I was running stationary radar on oil well by Arthrex. My vehicle was facing westbound when I observed a vehicle traveling at a high rate of speed eastbound. I did a visual estimation of 70 on a 50-mile-per-hour zone. I activated my radar and got a Doppler tone and a hearing that confirmed my 71-mile-per-hour speed estimation. I overtook the vehicle, made contact with the driver, asked him for his driver's license, and issued a citation for speeding 21 miles over the speed limit. I looked on his record and found that he had a 2019 a speed of 80 on a 55 and 2020 a careless driving. And this all occurred in Collier County.
All right, thank you. Cross?
Mr. Honor, Corporal, did you attend radar school?
I did, sir.
Do you have a certificate of completion?
I have my paperwork right here.
Okay, I can see that. Thank you. Do you have an independent recollection of this vehicle stop?
I do, sir.
Okay. Do you recall whether there were any other vehicles around at the time of your initial observations?
There were some other vehicles, but they were far behind.
Okay. What visual observations did you make that would cause you to believe that the target vehicle, the GMC truck, was traveling in excess of the posted speed limit?
When he was traveling at a high rate of speed, I could see the vehicle traveling. He was pretty much coming down a hill. By the time I see the vehicle, he was passing. There was trees and everything else that you could see on the side of the road that how fast he was going.
How far away was he from those trees?
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you exactly how far he was away from the trees, sir.
Okay. The only reason I ask is if you're making a comparison between a moving object, the vehicle, and a stationary object, the trees, and you're making a comparison that the moving object is traveling fast when compared to the stationary object, could you better explain how you were able to compare the vehicle and the trees if they weren't far or they were far apart?
Well, I can't tell you exactly how far he was, okay? But I do tell you he was traveling at a high rate of speed. I mean,
Okay.
this is what I do. This is what I do on a daily basis. Okay, I cannot do a math for you and tell you how far the distance was from the trees and explain everything to you. But I know that he was traveling at a high rate of speed, and it was confirmed by my radar.
Okay. Do you recall how far away the other vehicles were that were behind the target vehicle?
No, sir, I don't.
Okay. Even generally, like you say far, was it beyond the range of radar or a couple
I'm gonna say probably about I'm gonna say probably about 2 or 3 football fields behind them.
Okay.
That's just 300 yards per se. I mean, I don't know exactly how far they were.
You recall how far away the target vehicle was when you made the speed measurement with your radar device?
Maybe within a couple of 100 feet from my vehicle, Your Honor, sir.
Okay. You know what the operational limits as far as measuring distance that your radar works? What I mean is, how far away?
I mean, I don't. What is it, sir?
How far away does a stalker? Is this a stalker or a golden eagle?
Yes, sir, it's a stalker.
Stalker. How far does the radio waves travel on a stalker dual radar?
I mean, I wouldn't be able to testify to that, sir.
Okay.
I know they travel, but I don't know how far they travel. I mean, this system is set up by our shop. It gets tested and certified, and that's pretty much what I use.
Okay. I don't have any other questions. Thank you, Corporal.
Argument?
Your Honor, I would move to dismiss. The officer testified that there was a target vehicle traveling forward at least one other vehicle. Testimony was that it was some distance behind. He was uncertain how far. In conducting a traffic stop, utilizing radar, observations are made as far as tracking history to ascertain among multiple vehicles on the roadway that the radar speed measurement reading belongs to a specific target vehicle among several to choose from. It's not like a laser which targets individual vehicles. I don't believe the state has not met its burden to prove its case beyond a reasonable doubt. A reasonable doubt does exist as to which of those multiple vehicles this radar speed measurement is belonging to. The comparison, the state attempted to testify that attempted to provide evidence that the target vehicle was traveling in excess of this posted speed limit in comparison between stationary objects, a tree, but could not further explain how exactly that comparison was made. Couldn't even mention, couldn't even describe in any detail the relationship between how the vehicle was passing those trees other than a conclusory statement. A reasonable doubt does exist that the radar measurement belongs to the lead vehicle among several moving vehicles on the roadway.
The corporal testified that he first made a visual estimate of 70 miles per hour and then confirmed that with his radar at 71. And so it's not just the radar, it's also his visual estimate of that particular vehicle. And so I will respectfully disagree with you and find that he did satisfy his burden of proof and find that the infraction did occur. It's an adjudication, $250 plus costs and a 4-hour course. Thank you, Corporal.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Corporal.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused? Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Your Honor,
Mr. Hanukkah has Santiago with Trooper Waddell.
Your Honor, the last case, it was 250?
Sorry, Tommy. Yeah, 250.
Thanks. And a 4-hour course, correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Hanukkah, are you here?
Yes, good afternoon, Your Honor. I was waiting for the clerk to finish.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. You've got Santiago with Trooper Waddell.
Yes, Your Honor. This is a companion case to a pending criminal matter, case number 20 CT 2195. I would ask to move to consolidate this with the criminal matter that's pending.
Well, you have to make that in front of the presiding judge. Is that me? Do you know?
I believe it's Judge Nicole, Your Honor. I'll do that, and then I'll ask for a continuance instead, and right. I'll make the motion with Judge Nicola.
Trooper Waddell, are you here?
Yes.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you hear the request to continue?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Anything you want to say about that?
No, Your Honor, not at this time. It's involved with a criminal case.
All right, so the request is granted. We will continue Edgardo Santiago 20 TR 27516. Mr. Hanukkah, I would prefer to put this on a morning docket so that we don't have to subpoena Trooper Waddell again, pending your motion to consolidate. If that motion to consolidate is ultimately denied, then of course we'll end up back on a hearing docket. Is that okay?
Yes, Your Honor, that's fine. I don't know how we ended up here, actually, to be honest.
Okay. Tommy, is there a morning docket you can give to Mr. Hanukkah?
There is March 17th at 9 a.m.
Okay, so ordered. Thank you both.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Trooper.
Thank you, sir.
Your Honor, Danny Martinez here, sir. I got a little late. I don't know if you might have called my case or not.
I don't think so. Okay, so just I'll be with you shortly. Mr. LaRoche on Osavas Oliva with Trooper Nolan.
Your Honor, Attorney Jackson Todd here. I'm covering that case.
Oh, all right, Mr. Todd. Do we have Trooper Nolan here? Trooper Nolan, 2 cases with Osavas Oliva. Mr. Todd, I'm just checking the different pages here. I don't see the name, and of course, there's been no response. Are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
I do see a subpoena was issued for the trooper for today's date at 1:30. Tommy, I don't see any correspondence from FHP or this individual trooper regarding his appearance today. Do you see anything, a motion to continue or anything from them?
No, Your Honor, and I haven't received any information either.
All right. So, Mr. Todd, you're ready to proceed. You know that I'm going to enter an order dismissing both of these tickets, but the trooper has 5 days within which to file written explanation for his failure to appear. And if it's a good cause, then I'll set aside the dismissal and reschedule.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, 2 cases, 20 TR 24422 and 20 TR 25848, both are dismissed based on the officer's FTA. Mr. Carney, you're here.
Good afternoon, sir. Lee here. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Carney. You have Sanchez Cell with Trooper Diaz. Trooper Diaz, are you here?
I am right here, Your Honor. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon. And Mr. Carney, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
Trooper, do you have witnesses in this case?
I believe I do see them present. I believe there's 2 of them present here.
If you are a witness for this case, can you please unmute and tell me your name?
I believe it's Aurelina and Araceli.
Adelina Vicente Perez. I see someone named Adelina. Is that you? Can you unmute, please? I see your hand up. Okay. You can put your hand down just for a minute, okay? We haven't started yet. Adelina, what is your last name?
Vicente Perez.
All right. Do you speak English?
No.
Is there someone there translating for you?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. And what is your name to the translator, please?
Lauren Esquivel.
All right. Are you translating from English to Spanish and Spanish back to English?
Correct.
All right. Thank you. So stand by just for another minute, please. Another witness, it looks like, is Araceli Cortez. Are you here?
Yes.
All right. Good afternoon. And you're a witness in this case?
Yes. Yes, she is.
All right. So I've got 2 witnesses. I've also got Trooper Diaz. Mr. Carney, you're here and you've indicated ready to proceed, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I need the trooper. I need Miss Vicente Perez and Miss Cortez. Please raise your right hand to take an oath. And to our translator, you'll translate everything that is said from this point forward, okay? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Okay.
And Miss Cortez, did you answer? And Trooper?
Yes.
Did you answer?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Trooper, I just didn't hear your answer. Did you answer the question?
I do. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I had some lag issues all of a sudden, but yes, I do.
Okay, that happens. Okay, so Trooper Diaz, we'll start with you. This is an improper lane change. Can you tell me about your involvement in this case?
Correct, Your Honor. I was dispatched to this case. It was a crash, so I was dispatched to the crash. It was August 25, 2020. It happened approximately at 6:40 a.m. The crash occurred on State Road 82, approximately 0.6 miles east of Corkscrew Road. There was two two vehicles that were involved. The defendant's vehicle, which on my crash report I referred to as vehicle 1, it was a blue Toyota Tacoma pickup, and vehicle 2, which one of the witnesses here was the driver of. Let me verify the driver. Vehicle 2, that was out at Lena.
Yes.
So vehicle 1 was traveling east on the east lane. There's only two lanes there on State Road 82. One lane going east, one lane going west. Vehicle 1 was in the east lane, traveling east. Vehicle 2 was traveling west in the west lane. Vehicle 1, again, the pickup truck, the Toyota Tacoma, changed lanes to the west while traveling east, while vehicle 2 was still occupying that lane. This is what caused that.
I'm objecting to that because I don't know that the trooper says he was dispatched. I don't know that he saw what happened here.
Okay, so
hold on a second. So the objection is sustained, Trooper. Just tell me what you know based on your personal observations, not what anyone else may have told you.
Okay, so once I did arrive and I walked the scene, I did observe the skid marks on the road. Now, the reason I came to that conclusion, what I just said, the skid marks on the road showed that vehicle 1 attempted to brake. There was a hard brake marks on the road from vehicle 1. Skid marks show that the tires locked as it was moving onto the west lane in that direction, sort of in a northeast direction going into the west lane, which is where vehicle 2 was traveling in. Shortly after that, it was a very short braking marks there, not very long at all. Shortly after, you see the area of collision, which was reflected by some very heavy couch marks on the road as well as shattered glass and other debris from both vehicles, which showed where the area of collision occurred in the west lane as well, where vehicle 2 was traveling in. When I'll stop there, Your Honor. I have more notes, but I'll stop there for any questions regarding that.
Well, based on your investigation, did you determine which vehicle was at fault?
Correct. Vehicle 1, which was traveling east. That's the vehicle that, based on the marks left on the road, it was brake marks that were going from the east onto the west, as if braking hard suddenly. Soon after that, from the area of collision, the couch marks on the road, glass debris from the hard collision that occurred thereafter.
And
then vehicle 1.
Right. So vehicle 1 was the blue, I think you said blue Tacoma pickup truck.
Correct, Your Honor. The blue Tacoma truck, yes.
And that's the vehicle
which is the
you found to be at fault.
Correct, yes.
Did you determine who is the registered owner of that particular vehicle?
Yes, Your Honor. He was there on the scene. He was next to his vehicle, where the vehicle came to final rest. I found him there. We spoke. Obviously, he has crash privileges, so I'm not going to go over what we spoke about, but he was showing signs that he was involved in the crash. He even had fresh blood on his arm, I remember, from the crash. Nothing serious. He was not seriously injured. He was standing on his own. He was moving about, speaking fine. He refused to be transported by EMS, but he did bear the signs of the crash, had the seatbelt marks as well to show for it. And he was the registered owner of the pickup truck as well, yes.
All right. And when you say he, did you identify this individual?
Correct, Your Honor. I was able to identify him by his Florida driver's license as Emerson Mardoqueo Sanchez, the defendant in this case.
And you said you observed a seatbelt mark, is that right?
Correct. I saw the red mark coming down from the neck area. I saw some other markings. He was pretty banged up, but again, nothing serious. But he did have, I remember he has some fresh blood as well on his arm.
All right. Do you remember the angle of the seatbelt? Could you tell whether it was the driver's side seatbelt or the passenger side?
It was the driver's side, Your Honor, just a slight red mark going down from what would be his left shoulder and neck area.
All right. And this again was Emerson Sanchez cell.
Correct.
And you found him standing next to V1, the Tacoma pickup truck.
Correct. Yes. He was,
right,
I got there. Sorry, go ahead.
Which you said is registered to him, right?
Correct, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, Mr. Carney, any questions for Trooper Diaz?
Yes, sir. I believe you said you were called and dispatched to the scene. Trooper.
I'm sorry, you lagged out on me. I don't know if it's my internet, but you asked if I was dispatched.
Yes, you were called or dispatched to the scene.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, sir.
All right, you testified you did not see the accident.
Right, I was not there when it occurred, no.
So you wouldn't know why Mr. Sanchez cell was in whatever lane you described him to be, and you would not know why he was in either of those lanes.
Other than statements, no, sir.
All right. And the whatever indicated as far as in the indicia of crash or whatever, you don't really know what happened there. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
The indications of the crash, you said that he was showing. You wouldn't know what happened. You wouldn't know what caused those. You didn't see the crash.
I did not see the crash, but I can see what happened just based on all the marks left in the crash and the debris left by both vehicles that were involved in the crash, as well as how they were redirected after the crash.
All right. And you say he was standing next
That's how I
to
reached my...
I'm sorry, I interrupted you.
Yes, yes, sir, in that area, on that side of the road, correct.
And he was standing next to, he was outside of his vehicle at the time.
Yes. When I arrived, he was already outside of his vehicle, correct.
All right, fine. I have nothing further, Judge, for this witness at this time.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cortez, can you still hear me?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Are you a witness in this case?
Yes.
Did you see the accident happen?
She was in the accident.
Okay, now who's speaking?
Anna, I'm here just to translate for her.
Judge, I'm asking if this time to rule regarding witnesses, if this one of the witnesses could be put on mute.
Oh, if one of the witnesses can be put on mute, okay.
Or
Adelina,
clear them.
Miss Vicente Perez, can you please put your audio back on mute just for a couple more minutes?
Well, actually, I need to have her, so she's not able to hear the testimony of the other witness, Judge.
Okay, how am I going to do that? Well, I can put her back in the waiting room.
All right.
All right, so to the translator with who's with Miss Vicente Perez, I'm going to put you back in the waiting room for just a minute. Please do not disconnect. I'm going to bring you right back in. Okay, Miss Cortez. So let's see. The translator, you said your name is Anna?
Yes.
And you're translating from English to Spanish and Spanish to English, right?
Yes.
Did you do that when I administered the oath? When she put her right hand up and I said, "Do you swear to tell the truth,
yes,
whole
yes.
truth, nothing but-"
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to talk to her, not to you, and you translate. You ready?
Okay.
Ma'am, tell me your name, please.
¿Que le diga su nombre?
Araceli Cortez Garcia.
All right, Miss Cortez, were you involved in this accident?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you in the truck or the other car?
Estaba en la troca o en el otro carro?
En el otro carro, en la van.
She was in the van.
All right, can you tell me what happened?
¿Me puede decir qué fue lo que pasó?
Pues yo no me acuerdo mucho. Yo sé que chocaron los carros, que no me acuerdo mucho.
She said she can't really recall anything. She just remembers that they crashed.
All right. What happened after the crash?
¿Qué pasó después del accidente?
Me llevaron para el hospital.
They took her to the hospital.
And what happened there?
¿Y qué pasó ahí?
Que ahí me quedé en el hospital por unos 5 días, creo.
She was left there for about 5 days.
All right. And so what happened to you?
¿Qué le pasó a usted?
Se me quebraron 4 costillas del lado derecho y una del lado izquierdo.
She said she broke 4 ribs from the right and 1 from the left.
Se me rompió el caño de la nariz.
She broke like the bridge of her nose.
Y luego el ojo izquierdo.
Her left eye.
No se me abre el ojo izquierdo. No miro con el ojo izquierdo.
Okay, she can no longer see from her left eye.
All right. Who was with you in the car that day?
¿Quién estaba con usted en el carro ese día?
¿Quiénes son las personas que estaban ahí conmigo?
Sí.
Angelina, Audelina, Alicia y Irma.
Okay, she just named the people that were there.
De los que yo me acuerdo.
All right. Was Adelina, let me ask a question, ma'am. Was Adelina Vicente Perez with you that day?
Audelina estaba con usted ese día.
Sí, ella estaba manejando.
She was driving.
All right. Do you remember anything else from the accident that you want to tell me today?
¿Usted se puede acordar de cualquier otra cosa del accidente que quiere decirle?
Yo no me acuerdo ya, de ahí no me acuerdo qué más pasó yo cuando ya me levantaron en la ambulancia y me acordé nada más. No me acordaba yo de nada.
Okay, she says she doesn't really remember anything. Like all she can remember is from when they picked her up to take to move her to the ambulance.
All right, thank you, ma'am. The attorney is going to ask you some questions as well. Mr. Carney?
Did you speak to anyone after the accident occurred?
¿Usted habló con alguien después del accidente?
No. Después del accidente yo no hablé con nadie.
No, she hasn't talked to anyone after the accident.
Do you have a lawsuit pending regarding this accident for injury or damages?
¿Usted tiene como una corte o algo pendiente a sus golpes?
Ahorita que si tengo una corte, como otra corte para ir con ellos.
No, usted no puso como una demanda ni nada de eso.
Sí, yo puse la demanda ¿verdad? Pero pues yo no sé nada si va a ganar el abogado, no sé.
Well, she. Entonces, sí. Yeah, she did.
Is the answer? I didn't understand the answer.
Yes.
And who is the action against, or this lawsuit against?
¿Contra quién es la demanda?
Si puse la demanda contra de quién sobre
sus golpes.
Yo le puse allí que era con el otro carro que habían chocado, con el otro carro que habían chocado, pero yo no sé cómo explicarte, ¿verdad?
She said it was against the person driving the other vehicle.
All right. Do you have a workers' compensation claim pending also?
¿Tiene una compensación de trabajadores pendiente ahorita?
¿Cómo de qué? A ver.
Like, do you get what I'm saying?
¿Cómo hincho? ¿Cómo se dice? ¿Cómo se dice? Algo, yo no sé qué es.
Como si tiene una compensación de trabajadores pendiente ahorita.
¿Cómo de qué se trata? ¿Cómo de qué? Pues yo no sé, pues de qué se trata.
I'm sorry, is there someone else in the room here, Judge? I'm not sure what's going on.
Anna, who else is in there with you?
Her son just got here from school.
Okay, so what's the question again?
Does she have a workers' compensation claim pending?
Do you know the answer to that?
No.
Did she say she doesn't know?
Yeah, she doesn't know.
Okay, next question.
None further at this time, Judge.
Ms. Cortez, before the accident occurred, did you see the other vehicle that was involved?
Antes de que pasara el accidente, ¿usted vio el otro carro que fue parte del accidente?
No, yo nomás lo único que me acuerdo, dile que yo lo único que me acuerdo nada más que dijeron que el otro carro venía al lado contrario, nada más, eso fue todo.
She said she doesn't, all she knows is that she was told that the other car was coming in the opposite direction.
Mr. Carney, any follow-up to those questions I just asked?
I do, but in a different vein here, Judge. Are you having medical treatment now? Are you under medical care now?
¿Usted está bajo medicamentos o tratamiento?
Ahorita debajo de tratamiento de medicina. No, ya del tiempo que me las dio el doctor, ya no, ya recibo los parches nada más.
Oh, okay. She said she's no longer receiving any medicine or anything, just like some los parches
son para el dolor.
Just like some patches for pain.
All right. And who was there? Could she name her doctor who was treating her?
Is that relevant to the traffic ticket?
Well, I believe it may be regarding the nature of her injury, Judge.
Yeah, that sounds like you're investigating maybe one of these other lawsuits, but I'm going to object to that. And so
all right.
That's irrelevant.
All right, fine. I have nothing further here, Judge.
All right, I'm inviting Adelina back into the meeting. Anna, thank you. You and Ms. Cortez are free to go, or you can watch the rest of the hearing, up to you, but please put your audio on mute.
Okay, thank you.
Adelina, are you back? Adelina, Miss Vicente Perez, can you hear me? Miss Vicente Perez, are you back? Are you translating? I know we've got a translator here. To the translator, can you hear me? I see you're here. Okay. There is a translator with Miss Vicente Perez. What is your name? Now you're back on mute. Can you hear me? Adelina, to the translator, can you hear me?
Tienen que quitarlo de mudo. Lo tienen puesto en mudo.
Who is our translator? Who's translating for Adelina Vicente Perez? I see you, and I think I hear you two talking. Can you hear me?
Seems like they're having some technical difficulties, Judge.
I agree. Thank you. Adelina? Take your audio off mute, please. Miss Vicente Perez. Can you hear me? All right, Mr. Carney, we're going to move on and call her back shortly,
Right.
see if she
That's
can
fine,
make
sir.
a connection.
All right.
Jose Acevedo. Speeding ticket, are you here, Mr. Acevedo?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, Mr. Acevedo is here on a speeding ticket. Corporal Virali, are you here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and where are you? Mr. Acevedo, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
All right, can both of you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
All right, Corporal, we're going to start with you. Can you tell me about this ticket, please?
Yes, Your Honor. On Wednesday, the 4th of November, 2020, at approximately 6:02 p.m., I was on patrol in the area of Randall Boulevard and 16th Street Northeast. While on patrol, I observed a black in color Mercedes four-door vehicle, 5-mile-an-hour speed zone. Sorry, the video was strange. I observed the vehicle traveling in excess of that 45-mile-an-hour speed zone. I estimated the vehicle to be doing 75 miles an hour. I activated my I activated my stalker radar. The Doppler tone, along with the readout, provided the vehicle was doing 72 miles per hour. I activated my overhead lights, conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle, at which time I identified the driver by his Florida driver's license. I then issued the driver a citation for doing 72 and a 45, and this did occur while in Collier County.
All right, sir, do you have questions for the corporal?
I do. And actually, I'm not from Naples. I'm between Miami and Naples. And I was looking at the citation, and it says that it was 0.5 miles from 5 miles east.
Excuse me, we can't hear nothing. We don't hear nothing.
Hold on, is that Audalina? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Acevedo.
Yes, it says that it was 0.5, half a mile from 16th Street, northeast. But allegedly I was doing approximately 75 miles per hour, but that's just impossible because if I can share my screen, I can show you the map. It was right before the Publix and the CVS, and there's cars ahead of me. So I don't see how I could have possibly be going at that speed. If there's cars on me around that time, everybody's trying to get to the pharmacy before they close. It's just not, it was around 6 o'clock, 6:30. So if I can just show you the map, let me see if I can do the share screen.
You're not going to be able to do that, okay? But those aren't questions for the officer. You're telling me your side of the story, which is fine, but let me go back to the question I asked you earlier. Do you have any questions for Corporal Virali? Or are you just going to tell me your side of the story that you just don't think it's possible?
Do you have any questions? No, I don't.
Okay, well, let me go back. I have some questions for him to follow up on what you just said. Corporal, he indicated that he just doesn't think it's possible that he was going that fast. Number one, I think he said because there may be a curve. And another reason he said is because there were some vehicles in front of him. So let's talk about both of those things. Can you tell me the layout of the road, first of all, and then tell me whether you had a clear assignment of a speed on his vehicle or whether you could have possibly been confused by the other vehicles in the area?
Yes, Your Honor. The closest vehicle to him traveling in the same direction was at least a half a mile behind him. Could you hear me, Your Honor?
Yes, sir. At least half a mile behind him.
Okay. Yes, sir. At least a half a mile behind him.
Okay.
The area that he's talking about with the curve, to the curve is well west of where I activated my stalker radar at. He was actually closer to the bridge on Randall Boulevard rather than the curve where the Publix and the CVS are. He was well east of that location.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Acevedo, anything else from you?
Yes, Your Honor. I would like to share my screen and show you the map of where the occasion occurred.
You can't share your screen. You're supposed to file documents in advance. So you don't have that capability, but you can tell me anything else you want to tell me if there's anything else you have to say.
Yes. It says it happened half a mile from 16th Street, and that's not true. It was right before, it was maybe 2-3 blocks from that curve that takes place. So if I was going 72 miles per hour, 75, that means that all the cars ahead of me were going the same speed. It's just, I'm sorry, it's just not logical.
Is it not logical that other cars on the road could have been traveling at the same speed as you?
There
You
was
don't think that's possible?
It is possible. However, if it's a very congested area, Your Honor, everybody, like I said, it's right before the entrance to the Publix in a plaza where there's CVS and many stores. I couldn't possibly go in 72 because it would not be possible for me because there's cars ahead of me to get into the plaza, to go to Publix and CVS and all the stores in the plaza. So,
okay. Well, other cars in front of you would not prevent you from going that fast. And I find the officer's testimony credible. So I find the infraction did occur, adjudication, $250 plus costs and a 4-hour course. Thank you both.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Angelo. Yes, sir. Thank
you
you.
want-
Philip Angelo is
Thank you.
20 TR 11481. And the officer in this case is Corporal Bird, who I believe is also here. Corporal Bird.
Your Honor, I just have one more question. I apologize. So,
Who is this?
Is this Jose Acevedo? I apologize. So that means that I was assigned a citation and traffic school.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Okay, and so then the school is mandatory. I have to do that, correct?
You have to. Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the clerk can tell you how to do that. Contact the clerk right away and they'll explain how to get that done.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you. All right. We have Philip Angelo here. And where is Corporal Bird, please?
I'm here, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Angelo, you're here on a speeding ticket. Are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, both of you raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Corporal Bird, we'll start with you. Go ahead, please.
On May 12th, 2020, approximately 12:44, I was conducting stationary laser speed enforcement on Collier Boulevard in Collier County, primarily watching northbound traffic on Collier Boulevard. I was alerted to a couple cars that were honking their horns southbound. When I looked over across the lanes, because there was a median in the middle. When I looked over, I saw two vehicles that I couldn't tell if they were racing or just traveling fast. When I activated my laser on the faster of the two vehicles, which was a black Camaro, I got a speed radar of 79 miles per hour on that vehicle. Because there was a center median there, I was not able to catch that vehicle myself without delay, so I radioed ahead. And there was another officer near the intersection of Vanderbilt and Collier that observed the same vehicle. He effected that traffic stop, turned it over to me when I got there. I identified the driver as Philip Angelo with his Florida driver's license. Mr. Angelo said that he was cut off while on Collier Boulevard. He said he had a 15-minute lunch break and had to drop off some paperwork, and that's why he was driving fast. He had a poor attitude, and this all occurred in Collier County. The initial speed was 79 miles per hour. I explained to him that I was cutting him a break and writing the citation for 74, which would allow us to both avoid traffic court. And he, again, had a poor attitude over that, so I thought I was cutting him a break, but we are here today, Your Honor.
All right. And what was the speed limit at that location?
It's a 45 mile per hour zone.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Angelo, is there anything you want to say or questions for him?
Yes, sir. Well, first of all, I would dispute that I had a poor attitude at all. I wasn't racing anywhere. What I did tell him, though, was this was my first day back at work since COVID had started. I was on my way to get lunch down the street. The beeping that he heard was there was 3 cars, mine being one of which, 2 cars. The car all the way to the left was a red midsize SUV. She swerved into the lane of the middle car. That middle car went to a dead stop. Then the red SUV, or the mid-sized SUV kept pursuing into the right-hand lane. I went to slow down, but there was a car behind me. So I sped up to go around them. Now, he claimed that he was inside one of those plazas there on Collier Boulevard, like he was just stating, so that he wasn't the one that pulled me over. It was actually his sergeant, or I'm not. What I wrote here was that the sergeant, when I first spoke with him, because I asked him, how fast did you clock me going? Because you saw that, well, at first when I said, you saw me trying to get out of this woman's way so that she didn't run me off the road. He said, yes. I said, what speed did you clock me at? And I have it written down that he clocked me at 52 miles an hour. So when I pulled over, I didn't have an attitude or anything. I explained the situation. I expected him to see the same situation that the other officer did. He completely was oblivious to it, and then came back and told me, oh, well, I wrote you 74 instead of 79, like as if he was cutting me a break, and I was appreciative of that, but he doesn't want to go to traffic court. I do, because I wanted to fight that. All I was just trying to do was just get out of the way so that my car wasn't hit. But yeah, no attitude whatsoever. And I even had the other officer, I don't know if you could look at their body cams or something, admit that he saw me just evading to make sure that I didn't get hit or hit the person behind me or next to me, because this woman almost hit 2 cars on her way swerving to get all the way to that right lane. I think it's to turn on to
Mr. Angelo, we're losing you on audio.
Vanderbilt, if I'm not mistaken, from Collier. I was actually working at the Bank of America that day.
Okay, anything else? Corporal Byrd, what can you tell me? Did it appear as though one car swerved, causing another car to come to a complete stop in the road?
That's all I have to say. That's
okay.
it.
All right, Corporal Byrd, what do you have to say about that?
I did not see any commotion of the vehicles. I heard a couple different tones of car horns indicating it was a couple different vehicles, but I didn't see if there was a commotion, if somebody cut somebody off. I was not at a vantage point to see any of that.
What was the last thing you heard me say? Because I finished talking and then I said, okay, guys, I'm done, because I didn't hear you guys saying anything.
What we're saying here.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Did you hear what my argument was, sir?
I heard your argument, and I'm asking Corporal Byrd about it. Corporal Byrd, go ahead.
Judge, I heard a couple different car horns, different tones indicating that it was a couple different vehicles. I did not see any commotion. I did not see anybody cut anybody off. All I saw was this faster car of the couple. And I don't believe any traffic violations were observed by the other deputy. I simply asked him to pull over this black Camaro that was coming in his direction. So he's irrelevant. He pulled the car over based on what I observed. And
saying that the test muted me.
Hold on, Mr. Angelo. No, you're not on mute. I can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Corporal
Can
Byrd,
you hear me?
Go ahead and finish.
I believe that wraps up my testimony, Your Honor.
All right, I find the infraction did occur, adjudication,
Yep, I heard you
plus
last,
costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you both.
Thank you, Judge.
Judge, what was the fine?
$250.
Thank you.
All right, Emmanuel Camacho Rodriguez. Camacho Rodriguez.
I'm here, sir.
All right, good afternoon to you. And
Good
you
afternoon,
are
sir.
here with Trooper Garcia.
Your Honor, this is Trooper Taruza. Trooper Garcia just texted me. He said he's in the waiting room.
Trooper Garcia is, okay. Trooper Garcia, are you here? I did just admit him. I do see you. Trooper Garcia, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. No, I can.
All right, you're here for Mr. Camacho, who is also present. Mr. Camacho, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
I need both of you to raise your right hand to take an oath, please. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I do.
All right, Trooper, we'll start with you. Please tell me about this ticket.
On November 3rd, 2020, I was stationary in the paved median of I-75 near mile marker 108. I was facing southbound traffic and I was facing south and observing northbound traffic. At approximately 6:05 in the afternoon, I observed a 4-door black vehicle passing numerous vehicles in the inside lane. I estimated that the vehicle was traveling at 100 miles an hour. I activated my front radar. I received a loud Doppler tone and a reading of 98 miles per hour. I conducted a traffic stop, introduced myself, and advised the driver of the reason for the stop. I advised him that the speed limit there was 70. The driver stated that he was trying to get home to Kissimmee. The driver provided me with a Florida driver's license. I was able to identify him as Emmanuel Camacho Rodriguez of St. Cloud, Florida. He was then issued a citation for unlawful speed of 98 miles per hour in a posted 70 mile per hour zone. All events occurred in Collier County.
All right, thank you, Mr. Camacho. Do you have questions for him?
Well, I don't have any questions. I was just like, if you have any offers for the for me.
Is there anything you?
Yeah,
sure.
The only question I have would be for the radar, because it says it was the front radar. I just don't know if he was looking north or south when he caught me on the radar, and if that is a laser radar.
Your Honor,
wave.
Your Honor, I believe I stated that I was facing south on I-75, observing northbound traffic in the direction that he was coming. And in addition to that, it was my front radar. All this documentation has been submitted.
All right, thank you. Mr. Camacho, anything else from you?
No, sir. There was just election day. My mom was just really worried about what was going on, and I just needed to get home. Sorry about that.
All right, based on the testimony, I find the infraction did occur. Adjudication, $200 fine plus costs and a 4-hour course.
Thank you, sir.
both.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
I'm good to go.
Yes, sir. You're good to go.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yusel Cifuentes. With Trooper Ellisaint. Miss Cifuentes, are you here? Yusel Cifuentes. Trooper, are you here?
I am here, Your Honor.
All right. Let me see if she's on the next page here. Yusel Cifuentes. I don't see anyone by that name. Trooper, you already testified, didn't you? Were you
not to this citation? I am under oath.
I know not to this citation, but you've already taken an oath, correct?
Yes, I have.
All right, and there is a notice to appear in the court file for Miss Cifuentes. It was mailed to her on December 30th to be here today at 1:30, and it's 3:02. So she was properly noticed, and she's not here. So we're going to proceed in her absence. And that the notice was mailed to the same address on the citation. Trooper, the address on the citation, did that come from information provided by the defendant?
Yes, Your Honor. I did ask her if the address on her driver's license was correct, and she stated yes.
All right. Oh, well, actually, she's in the waiting room. Miss Cifuentes, can you hear me? Miss Cifuentes, I can see you. Can you hear me? Connecting to audio. Miss Cifuentes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. Hi.
All right, you're here on a. That's all right. We're going to keep going. You're here on a speeding ticket. Are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
I swear.
And Trooper Ellisaint is already under oath, and he's going to start. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. That was on August 8th, 2020 at approximately 3:02 p.m. I was stationary on the median near mile marker 91. I was facing westbound traffic, and I was running stationary radar. I observed the vehicle traveling west at a high rate of speed on the inside lane. It was passing other vehicles. I visually estimated the vehicle to be traveling at 105 miles per hour. I activated my radar speed measuring device and received a reading of 107 miles per hour by display in a clear, steady audio Doppler tone. I was consistent with the vehicle speed. The speed limit on this road is 70 miles per hour. I initiated a lawful traffic stop. I made a passenger side approach, introduced myself, and stated the reason for the stop. I asked if there was a legal reason for her actions. She said I was going with traffic. I requested a driver's license, registration, and insurance. I asked if the address on her driver's license was correct. She said yes. I identified the driver by the picture on her Florida driver's license. She had one passenger in the vehicle. The driver was cited for speed and the traffic stop was concluded. This all occurred in Collier County.
All right, thank you. Ms. Cifuentes, is there anything you want to say?
I cannot recall going 107 miles per hour.
All right, anything else?
No, like I don't understand why the officer is telling me that I was driving so fast when I was just going with the traffic.
Well, you just said you can't recall going 107, right? Isn't that what you told me?
Yes, sir.
All right, based on the testimony, I find the infraction did occur, adjudication, $300 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you both. Benjamin Corace or Corace? C-O-R-A-C-E. Are you here? With Corporal Borchers, who is here.
Here, sir.
C-O-R-A-C-E. Are you here? Benjamin Christopher, I think it's Corace. C-O-R-A-C-E. I do not see that name. Corporal, have you been sworn in yet?
I have not,
Oh,
sir.
he's here. Benjamin Corace, you're here. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm having trouble, but I'm here.
How do you pronounce your name, please?
Chorus.
Chorus. You're here on a speeding ticket. Are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, I need both of you to raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do, sir.
Mr. Chorus, did you answer?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. You can put your hand down. We're going to start with Corporal Borchers. Go ahead.
Sir, on Thursday, November 12th, 2020, approximately 7:41 in the morning, I was conducting speed enforcement. I was traveling northbound on Airport Pulling. The roadway was slightly wet from a recent rain. I was just passing by the school zone in front of Pelican Marsh Elementary. I observed a black Land Rover utility vehicle in front of me pulling away from me at a high rate of speed. I visually estimated that the vehicle was traveling at 65 miles an hour. Activated my dual stalker radar unit, got a strong Doppler tone. It indicated the vehicle was traveling at 45 miles an hour. Posted speed limit in that area, sir, was 45 miles an hour. Conducted a traffic stop on the vehicle, identified the driver by his Florida driver's license, issued him a citation for 64 and a 45. This did occur in Collier County, sir, and you have all my paperwork, certifications, and calibrations.
All right, thank you. Mr. Chorus, do you have questions for him or anything you want to say to me?
Well, I'm very new at this. This is the first time, so pardon me if I don't use the right terms or maybe I have them out of order. I've heard some of the other people ask about an offer. Is that something, do you have an offer or anything for me to consider?
Well, we're almost done with the hearing. It's too late for an offer. The
I'm
offer,
sorry.
I mean, I can make you one if you wanted to plead no contest. It would be an adjudication of guilt, a $150 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course.
And then do the points get assessed to the license with that adjudication?
Yes,
And what is the point with that fine?
you would get 4 points.
4. And then I have to wait, and the hearing is when I would ask I just truly don't believe I was going that fast. I felt I was traveling with traffic. And I take my daughter to school all the time in the morning, travel the same route. That's why I was just wondering if possibly there was something malfunctioning with his radar, or however he determined my rate of speed. Because it just, you know, I've been living in this town for 30 years and I travel that road all the time, and I just really didn't believe my rate of speed was in the 60s.
Well, you've heard, if you've been listening, you've heard several people tell me the same thing, that, oh, I was just traveling with traffic.
Yeah, I understand.
You agree that multiple cars can all be speeding at the same time, right?
I do.
That's clearly a possibility. Is there anything else you want to say?
Yeah,
This
well,
is your hearing.
would I have the opportunity to see the officer's training certification, the maintenance records on the radar, the certification of the radar itself, and the logs?
Sure. All right, this is a 6-page exhibit. Corporal, can you tell him what he's looking at?
That would be the radar log, sir, on this date, November 12th. It was tested at 6:50 in the morning before I come on duty. It was then tested again at 5:45 in the evening when I'm coming off duty.
All right, and you testified earlier this occurred at 1 o'clock in the afternoon between those two times, right?
It was 7:41 in the morning, sir, rush hour.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had the wrong case up. Okay, and so the next page?
That's my certification, sir. I was certified to do radar, I believe it's 2003.
Do those certifications expire, Judge, or is that good for life?
Ahora ya lo escuchamos.
Is that a question? That's a question for him, right? He's
I'm not,
testifying.
yeah, I'm not sure who to pose the question to. I just
Corporal, go ahead.
That's good for life, sir, as far as I know. I've never heard that question before, but there's also a laser certification that came years later.
Okay, Adelina, I need you to stay on mute until I call your case, please. All right, and this page, Corporal?
That's the laser certification, sir. That was not used, but it was attached. And that should be my calibrations indicating that my radar was certified. It has to be certified every 6 months. In this case, it was certified on November 3rd. So 8 days prior to this citation.
So
and that's the certification certifying that my speedometer was also certified as correct on the same day.
Officer, if you could
hold on, Mr. Corus. Let's get through these 6, and then you can ask him your questions.
Okay, thank you.
This last page.
That's a laser certification there, sir. I have them all in one file, so I can send it all depending what I have. So I was certifying that my laser was also certified on that day.
All right, Mr. Corus, go ahead. Any more questions for him?
Yeah, I know that we weren't talking about the laser being used. It was a radar, if I recall. And the radar certification, what I saw on both of them were something circled saying not checked. And I just wasn't clear. I don't review radar certifications ever. So what does that mean when the certification says it's not checked? That didn't check it that day?
No, that has to do with the certification from the company, that independent company that comes out and certifies it. That's their paperwork saying whatever base that they have, they hadn't checked it. Tell you the truth, that I don't know what they're talking about when they certify that. The equipment they use their equipment is certified before they test our equipment.
You tested it for accuracy, right?
I did, sir. At 6:50 that morning.
And again in the evening?
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions?
Well, the only other question I have, and I guess maybe it's for you, Judge, because I just don't recall. Is it part of the Florida law that I need to sign the the citation? 'Cause I
Well,
don't
it's
remember
part of
if it
Florida
did.
law. If it's a mandatory appearance, you're obligated by law to sign the citation. And if you fail to do that, you can be arrested for a misdemeanor.
All right, but this wasn't a mandatory appearance. This was an
This was
optional
not.
one. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Well, then, no, I guess that's all I have.
All right. Well, based on the testimony, I find the infraction did occur. Adjudication 150 plus costs and a 4-hour course. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Mr. Todd, you've got a hearing, right?
I'm covering for Attorney Golden
Right, on a hearing.
or LaRoche. One of those two.
yeah.
This will be a change of plea, Your Honor.
Which one? What's the case again, please?
Sharonberg. There's two tickets, 20 TR 27057 and 20
Lyle,
TR.
I'm sorry. Yep, 27058.
Yes,
One
sir.
is a careless driving, one is leaving the scene. Two
Yes, sir.
cases with Lyle Sharonberg.
Yes, sir. There, I see that CSO Hale's present and a witness, Katya Tarnowitz.
Is present as well.
That's correct.
Ms. Tarnowitz, can you unmute, please?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a witness in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
So let me tell you what the attorney just said. You know, we're here for 2 tickets, and the attorney just said this is a change of plea, which means we will not have a hearing. Mr. Todd, are you entering a plea of no contest in both cases?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right,
I have
so I will
examined
accept.
all the state's exhibits as well.
All right, so I accept the plea of no contest in both cases. Ms. Tarnowitz, so you won't have to testify, but I do want to give you an opportunity to tell me anything you feel is relevant to the sentence. So the only thing left is for me to impose a sentence in both cases. Do you understand that?
Could you explain me what does it mean, please?
Well, I'm about to sentence him for these 2 tickets. So I'm giving you a chance to say anything you want me to know about before I do that. Were you involved in this accident? Were you involved, or did you just see it?
I was involved.
Okay. Were you injured?
Yes, sir.
What happened to you?
Well, I was driving south on Collier Boulevard, November 11, 2020, around 2 o'clock, and this person rear-ended my car, and I was taken to the Physicians Regional Hospital.
What were your injuries?
Disc herniation on the neck. I have a neck injury and a lower back pain.
All right. Is there anything else you want to tell me before I impose a sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Well, thank you very much for telling me that. I appreciate you showing up and waiting. How about Corporal Hale? Are you with us? Corporal Hale, I think you are here.
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
All right. So you know this is not a hearing. They've entered a plea of no contest. Is there anything you want to say before I impose the sentence?
No, sir. I appreciate her showing up today.
And I do as well. Thank you, Ms. Tarnowitz. So, Corporal, you agree this was not cited as a serious bodily injury, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so the pleas have been accepted in 20 TR 27057. It is an adjudication of guilt, $200 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. In 20 TR 27058, it is an adjudication of guilt, $150 plus costs. Okay, Ms. Tarnowitz, that's it for today. Thank you very much. You're free to go. And thank you, Corporal Hale.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Todd, you're also, or are you done then?
I believe I am. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you. Armel Darris. Armel Darris.
Yes, I just unmute.
All right.
Can you hear
perfect.
me?
And yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Deputy Gash, you're here as well. Deputy Gash, can you also? All right. Mr. Darris, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, please. Yes, Your Honor.
And let's see, Deputy Gash, can you both raise your right
Sorry, Your
hand?
No.
Deputy Gash, okay. Okay, you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Deputy Gash, we'll start with you on Armel Darris, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On November 10th, 2020, at approximately 2000 hours, I, Deputy Gash, ID 4103, was stopped behind a civilian vehicle in the left-hand turn lane facing eastbound on Rattlesnake Hammock Road, waiting to turn left and travel northbound on Collier Boulevard. While stopped, I observed the pickup traveling southbound on Collier Boulevard as it approached the intersection of Collier Boulevard and Rattlesnake Hammock Road and entered into the left-hand turn lane on Collier Boulevard. I then observed the pickup proceed to make a U-turn through a visibly solid red turn signal, causing the pickup to impede traffic turning onto Collier Boulevard as the light I was behind had turned green during his maneuver, and then observed the vehicle as it traveled northbound on Collier. At this time, as I had observed the pickup to make an illegal left turn through a solid red turn signal, I proceeded to catch up with the pickup bearing Florida tag JLC U36 and initiate a traffic stop. Upon approach of the vehicle, I made contact with the driver, later identified as Armel Darris, via his driver's license, and advised him of my reason for the stop. While speaking with Armel, he advised me that he did not know he could not make a U-turn on red. Upon returning to my patrol vehicle, I proceeded to search Armel in the local Wing system and David State system, which revealed that Armel has numerous red light related citations from Dade County and Palm Beach County between 2017 and 2018. Due to these findings, I decided to issue Armel a citation for his illegal left turn on red, as his history demonstrated to me that he frequently disregards traffic signals. Upon my return to the vehicle, I advised Armel that he had been issued a citation and advised him of why. At this time, Armel proceeded to advise me that the turn signal was yellow when he made the turn, despite having previously stated that he was unaware that he could not make a U-turn on red, and despite the fact that I advised him that I could see that the signal was solid red. Upon advising Armel that he had the option to go to traffic court if he wished, he advised me that he would take me to traffic court and, quote unquote, just tell the judge the light was yellow. This concludes my interaction with Armel on the aforementioned date.
All right, and you identified him with a Florida driver's license?
That is correct.
And this occurred in Collier County?
It did.
All right, thank you. Mr. Darris, do you have questions for him or anything you want to say to me?
Yes. I think he said that it was behind me when that happened, but it was never behind me. It was on Rattlesnake and I was on Collier. Could you repeat that part? Because it's on the host, so he should know where he was.
Yeah, I believe I did testify that I was facing eastbound on Rattlesnake Hammock, but your red turn signal light is visible from that turn lane. I would not have pulled you over if I didn't see a solid red turn signal.
All right, Mr. Darris, anything else?
No.
All right, I find the infraction did occur, adjudication 150 plus costs and a 4-hour course. Thank you both. Have a good day.
I have to do a 4-hour course?
Yes, you do. And the clerk will help you figure that out. Yes, you do. You get points. Yes, you do. So call the clerk and they can explain that to you.
I have to call the clerk, you said? Call the court?
You have to call the clerk, honey. You have to call the clerk to figure out how to pay.
Can I go to the court and just...
Call the clerk. Okay.
Yeah, but I can go there also and get the information.
Or you can come in. Yes, sir. You can also come in. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Princiana DeRozier. Speeding ticket. DeRozier with Trooper Teruse.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, do you have video, Mr. DeRozier?
No, I don't.
Well, if you don't have video, you can't testify. So are you just going to listen to the... You want to log out and try and log back in?
Yeah, because...
Okay, go ahead. We'll call your case
Okay.
later. Judith Farnell. Are you here? Judith Farnell.
Your Honor, she's diagnostics.
Can you hear me, sir?
Diagnostics. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
You are Judith Farnell, is that right?
That is correct, sir.
All right. Is the officer involved in this case present?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking to see if that
Oh.
person is here.
Oh, sorry, sir.
I'm reading a message that I just received. Hold on, Officer Williams with NPD. Is that the officer?
That is correct.
Yes, Officer Williams. Is not present and not coming. Ma'am, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, case is dismissed. They're not here. So your case is over. You're free to go. Thank you.
Now what happens?
Nothing. It's done.
Well, I'm not given an opportunity to speak.
Well, I just dismissed your case. I can't do more than that for you.
I mean, just because they didn't come, this officer was completely out of line. And
Okay,
he
but hold
wouldn't-
on a second. This is not the place to say that. If you have a complaint about his behavior, then you would contact the agency. We're here for a trial on the traffic ticket and they're not here. So I just dismissed the ticket, which is good for you. You understand that's good for you, right?
Okay, no, I understand that, but does that affect? Okay,
It's dismissed. Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
thank you, sir.
Luis Garcia Yanis.
I'm here.
Mr.
I'm here, Your
Garcia
Honor.
Yanis is here, and this is Trooper Morales, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Garcia Yanis, you ready for a hearing?
Yes, I am.
Raise your right hand, take an oath. Do you both swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, Trooper Morales, we'll start with you. Go ahead, please.
Your Honor, on November 28, 2020, approximately 10:07 a.m. here in Cotter County, I was working opposite moving radar traveling eastbound near my mark 97 when I observed a silver Ford Fusion traveling westbound on the left lane at a high rate of speed, passing a car. I visually estimated the vehicle to be traveling 100 miles an hour and it posted 70-mile-an-hour zone. I activated my Golden Eagle 2 radar front antenna. I heard the high-pitched stopper tone indicating a high rate of speed, and a display of 104 miles an hour. I conducted a traffic stop, identified the driver by the picture on his Florida driver's license, and he said, "I'm sorry, I was doing 80." I advised him that 80 miles an hour still speeding. There was 3 passengers, 2 white females, and a 3-year-old child in the car, Your Honor. And the weather was clear. All of this occurred here in Cotter County, Your Honor.
All right, sir, do you have anything you want to say?
I don't have any question. I just want to point out that I admit that I did that. I was running late to see a house. I was trying to catch, there was no traffic that day. I was just trying to reach the front vehicles. They were like 2 miles away. I just to gain some time. I'm sorry, this is my first time getting a traffic ticket. I usually don't go that way and I don't go that fast. And I don't have anything else to say.
All right, well, based on your testimony and the troopers, I find the infraction did occur, adjudication, $250 plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
Claudia Garcia. Are you here? Claudia Garcia has a speeding ticket with Corporal Melendez. Corporal Melendez is present. Claudia Garcia. All right, Corporal, can you raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right, first of all, I need to make sure that she was properly noticed. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date at 1:30. It's now 3:29. This was mailed to the defendant on December the 9th, and it was mailed to the same address that appears on the citation. Corporal Melendez, where did the address on the citation come from?
From her license.
Which was provided by her, right?
Correct.
Okay, so she was properly noticed and she's not here. Tommy, do you see any correspondence from her, from the defendant requesting a continuance?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Nor do I. So, Corporal Melendez, we're going to proceed in her absence. Will you tell me about this ticket, please?
Absolutely. So this was on a Wednesday, the 28th of October, 2020, last year. And this was about 4:45 in the afternoon. I was stationary at 6780 Vanderbilt, which is a turning lane, it's a left turning lane on Vanderbilt Beach Road. I was running radar. I observed a vehicle changing lanes. She went from the outside lane to the inside lane to the inside lane. And I could see that she was coming at a high rated speed. I activated my radar. I first estimated her about 65 miles an hour, and then I activated my radar to verify that she was doing 66 miles an hour. I then maneuvered into traffic and conducted a traffic stop, made contact with her. She provided me her license, which is how I identified her, and this occurred in Collier County.
All right, and you confirmed her speed at 66, and what was the speed limit at that location?
45.
45, thank you. All right, I find the infraction did occur. It's an adjudication, $200 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you, Corporal.
Thank you.
Irvis Mojolari,
Yes, sir.
or Majolari?
Majolari.
Or, say it again, please.
Majolari.
Majolari, okay, thank you. Let's see, your officer is Sergeant No. Sergeant No, are you here? Sir, are you ready for a hearing?
Me, yes.
Mr. Major, all right, the officer is not present. Your case is dismissed and you're free to go.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
Yes, sir. You as well, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Let's see, Danny Martinez Fernandez.
Right here, Your Honor. Present.
He's present. All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And you are here on a speeding ticket with Trooper Garcia,
Yes, sir.
who's also here. Mr. Martinez, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, sir.
All right, raise your right hand, please. Do you both swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
All right, Trooper, we'll start with you, sir. Go ahead.
On July 4th, 2020, I was stationary in the paved median of I-75 near mile marker 108 in Collier County. I was facing south and observing northbound traffic. At approximately 10:35 in the morning, I observed a black four-door vehicle approaching my location at a high rate of speed. The vehicle was in the inside lane. Traffic was moderate. He did pass 3 other vehicles prior to approaching the location where I was stationary at. I submitted that the vehicle was traveling at 90 miles an hour. I activated my front radar and received a loud Doppler tone with a reading of 93 miles per hour. I pulled the vehicle over, just over Vanderbilt Beach Road. The driver stated that he was going to Sanibel and was distracted by his phone. I was able to identify him as Danny Martinez Fernandez of Hialeah, Florida, by his Florida driver's license. He was issued a citation for unlawful speed of 93 miles an hour in a posted 70 mile an hour zone. All events did occur in Collier County.
All right, thank you. Mr. Martinez, anything from you?
Sir, has the officer submitted proper certifications and things like that for the device that was used to the courts?
Let me check, okay? Give me just a second. Yes, he did. You want to see them?
I mean, it's everything up to par. They're all there, certification, everything.
Yes, sir. I'm going to show them to you. All right, do you have specific questions about this? I'm just going to flip through. You see, this is what he's filed.
All right. All right, and
specific question.
For the record, the officer did state that he was stationary at the site where the citation occurred.
Trooper, is that what you said?
I was stationary where the infraction was observed, which was mile marker 108. The traffic stop was effected near mile marker 110.
So you weren't coming to a stop at the time that you were in movement because I had originally seen you like coming to stops of sorts.
I activate my radar if I'm slowing down to enter the median. When I usually run median at mile marker 108 in Collier County, I'm stationary.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm just saying because I did see your vehicle in movement, sir. So that's why I'm wondering if you were in some sort of movement and not stationary, like you said.
So I was stationary. If I was moving, it would have been a moving radar case, and I would have provided other documentation as well.
Okay, yeah, because when I recall, when I looked down, I believe the speedometer was somewhere in the 80s, 84, and then you're claiming 93. That's a big gap.
Okay. Anything else you want to say, Mr. Martinez?
Well, at this time, yeah, I believe I was doing 84. I don't think I was above 90, Your Honor.
Okay, but you agree you were speeding?
I was doing over 70, but not as far as 93, sir. That's my objection.
Okay, and I understand that. I'll take that into account in the sentencing, but based on your testimony and his, the infraction clearly did occur. I've also noticed that you have a clean record, so there's no adjudication, no points. It's a withhold 150 plus costs. Thank you both.
What is the cost, sir?
103. So you can either pay that in full or work out a payment plan with the clerk.
And what about like any points pertaining to this ticket?
No, that's what I said, because you have a clean record. There's no points.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I go ahead and said that. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, officer. Have a good job.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you. Ivis Martinez Montoya. Speeding ticket with Deputy Sauls, who is here.
Yes, I'm here.
All right. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Ivis
Yeah.
Pamela Martinez Montoya, are you here? Speak up if you are, please. I don't see her here. There's no one else in the waiting room. Deputy, can you raise your right hand? You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do. Wait.
All right. So let me review this file here. There is a notice to appear in the court file for today's date, 1:30. It's now 3:36. This was mailed to the defendant on December the 16th. And it was mailed to the same address that appears on her citation. Deputy, where did the address come from that appears on the citation?
That is the address that she gave me. She did not have a driver's license, so I asked her to write down her address, and I confirmed it multiple times while on scene with her.
All right, thank you. So that did come from her. And I see that the notice was returned. It was returned unable to forward. So that was the address she provided to you. You just said that and you confirmed it multiple times, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this says returned unable to forward. So if she moves, it's incumbent upon her to keep us posted regarding her new address. So the notice that was mailed to the address she provided and that she confirmed is sufficient. So we will proceed in her absence. Deputy, can you go ahead and tell me about this ticket, please?
On August 19, 2020, Wednesday at approximately 7:23 p.m., I was traveling southbound on State Road 29. I had passed the I-75 overpass. I could see a vehicle coming at a high rate of speed traveling in the northbound lanes. There was no other traffic. It was the only vehicle on the roadway. I visually estimated the vehicle to be doing 105 miles an hour. I activated my stalker radar, and because there was no traffic coming behind me, I stopped in the middle of the road waiting for the vehicle so I could turn around and do a traffic stop. I did a traffic stop. I made contact with the driver. She identified herself as Ivis Pamela Martinez Montoya. She did not have a driver's license. She did not have any other form of ID with her picture on it. But she told me that was her name and gave me all her information. I issued her a citation for no valid driver's license, and as well as the unlawful speed for 105 in a posted 60-mile-an-hour zone. And this all occurred in Collier County.
All right, thank you. Based on your testimony, I find the infraction did occur. Adjudication, $300 fine plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you, Deputy.
Your Honor.
Aaron Meisner. Aaron Meisner.
Corporal Snyder, sir, Your Honor.
All right, Corporal Snyder, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
This is Meissner. Aaron Scott Meisner, are you here for a failure to yield citation? Corporal, I don't think you've testified. Can you take an oath, please? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Tell me God.
All right, thank you. You had the citation filled out in this case. I'm wondering where the address came from that's on there.
The address came from his driver's license that was provided, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Provided by him, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
So there is a notice to appear here in the court file for today's date at 1:30. It's now 3:40. This was mailed to the defendants.
And just so you know, Your Honor, this is the second time for the same thing. He didn't show up last time.
Same. Well, Tommy, we've got an address on the notice to Hunters Road. The address on the citation is different. Any idea where the Hunters Road address came from?
No, Your Honor.
And I'm sorry, that was you, Corporal Snyder, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, Tommy, I'm going to talk to the clerk here for just a minute to see if he knows. Tommy, any idea about that? Why we sent it to an address other than what's on the citation?
Looking in the case right now to see if maybe we received notification that he changed his address.
The first one, I know Corporal Snyder said this is his second FTA. I'm looking through the file. It looks like the first time was also mailed to Hunters Road. I see that the defendant did file a request for the hearing, but I don't see an address attached to that. I was thinking maybe he gave us a different address.
And I don't see anything regarding that. The only thing I see is that he sent in a check with a different address, so we sent correspondence to that different address.
The check that he provided has a different address on it?
Correct.
Is the address the Hunters Road address?
That's it, exactly.
Okay, so that is an address that he provided. Corporal, I find that he was properly noticed. He's not here. For the record, the courtroom is empty. I'm the only one in the courtroom. And the waiting room is empty as well. So I find that he was properly noticed, and we'll proceed in his absence. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. On February 28, 2020, approximately 5:33 in the afternoon, I was traveling southbound on Livingston Road and observed an Audi gray in color come out from Sable Ridge Lane and cut off a white SUV also heading south, failing to yield to the vehicle moving the same direction. I made contact with the driver, introduced myself, and advised him of the infraction that occurred. He provided a Florida driver's license with the address of 1840 Florida Club Circle. This all did occur in Collier County, Your Honor.
All right, based on your testimony, I find the infraction did occur. Adjudication, $150 plus costs and a 4-hour course.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Corporal.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice night.
You as well. Thank you. All right, next is Salvatore Moliterno. Are you here? Salvatore Vincent Moliterno. Sir, I see your name here. It looks like you're present. Can you hear me? Sergeant Ruth, you're here, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Salvatore Moliterno, can you unmute? It looks like you are present. Sergeant, I think he's having some technical difficulties. I'm going to come back to him.
Okay.
All right, next is Mariah Okita Garcia. Are you here? How about Officer Schickfuss? I think I saw you.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm here.
All right, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mariah Okita Garcia, are you here?
Your Honor, this is a crash case. I do not have a wheel witness. I respectfully ask to dismiss the summons.
All right, so that request is granted 20 TR 29765. So is that it for you then, Officer Schickfuss?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm sorry you had to wait for that, but so that one is dismissed, and you have a good day.
You too, thank you.
Thank you. Cody Stevenson.
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought Cody, Mr. Stevenson is here. All right, good afternoon to you.
Your Honor.
This is a careless driving crash. Sergeant Verbeest, are you here?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, and you also have a witness list with Cindy Borzilleri. Are you here?
I am, Your Honor.
Okay, good afternoon to all of you. Mr. Stevenson, are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, can all three of you please raise your right hand to take an oath? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. You can put your hands down. Sergeant, we will start with you, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, on December 4th, 2020 in Collier County, Florida, I was dispatched to a crash that would occurred on Immokalee Road, just east of Wilson Boulevard. Upon my arrival, I made contact with a Deputy Cody Stevenson that works for the Collier County Sheriff's Office. And when I made contact with him, I asked him what happened. He told me what happened and observed damage to the front end of his vehicle. I observed damage to another vehicle, which was a 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe with rear end damage. But the driver was not present. She was transported to the hospital. I also had a Trooper Garcia Paz, who was on scene prior to that, that relayed that information to me regarding the crash investigation. And based on the evidence gathered, and I was able to identify Deputy Cody Stevenson as the driver of Vehicle 1, which was a marked Collier County Sheriff's Office unit, 2015 Ford Taurus, white in color, with that sustained front end damage, which ultimately made impact with the rear end of with a 2015 Hyundai Santa Fe that had rear end damage. Based on that, I issued a citation for careless driving. The deputy was not in emergency mode, responding to a crash or to any emergency that required lights and or siren.
And you mentioned Immokalee Road at the beginning of your testimony. This all did occur in Collier County?
Correct. Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Stevenson, any questions for the sergeant?
Oh yeah, was the vehicle on scene when you got there, or did you see video photos of the other vehicle involved?
I recalled seeing the vehicle on a tow truck.
Okay. And then no,
Sorry,
no,
go ahead.
no, Your Honor, I'm
I
good.
didn't mean, I don't want to cut you off. If you have more, you can ask them.
No, I'm good, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. So now, Ms. Borzilleri, tell me, how are you involved in this case?
I was en route to do some shopping that afternoon. I was heading on Immokalee. I was heading east, and I stopped at a red light, There were, I believe, 2 vehicles in front of me. I know there was at least one, but I think there were 2. The light changed, and I believe I left my foot off the brake. I don't think I accelerated because the other 2 vehicles had not started to move yet, or they were moving very slowly. I felt the impact of the car hitting me, and my bicycle rack, I had an attached to the hitch type bicycle rack, came through the rear window. And that was the crash. That was the moment of impact.
All right, and what did you do after that?
A little screaming. I got rattled. I looked in the mirror. I remember looking in the rearview mirror and seeing the rack come through the windshield, and I wasn't sure how far it was coming. So I just screamed a bit and was scared. I saw the lights. I knew there was a car behind me, but I wasn't sure what car or what vehicle it was at that point.
Okay. Eventually, did you get out of your car?
Before I got out of my vehicle, the young deputy came to the side of my car and he asked me if I felt okay, if I was okay. I know I was very rattled. I was nervous and I was trying not to cry. And I just said, okay. And he suggested that I keep breathing, just keep breathing, and that he had called his supervisor. That's what he said to me. I did not get out of the car at that point, no.
Okay. And eventually, other law enforcement officers appeared and you discussed the case with them?
Yes, another gentleman came. I don't recall who he was. He was wearing a mask, and I believe he might have been the supervisor. And he asked me basically same thing, just calm down, how do you feel? And I had a pain in the back of my neck and shoulders. I think because I tensed up when the impact, I tensed up so tight. I didn't hit anything. My head did not hit the steering wheel. I didn't hit a windshield, nothing like that. I just tensed up. And I felt
I'm sorry, you felt what?
I felt the pain in the back of my neck and between my shoulder blades.
Okay. So you see the other 2 gentlemen who have testified here today, right? You can see them on your screen?
Yes.
Do you recognize them?
I recognize the young deputy, yes. And the other gentleman, was he the same one that had the mask? He was wearing a mask?
I don't know that. So when you say the young deputy, which one is that?
The first, Mr. Williams?
You can describe them. Just look at them. I don't want you to look at a piece of paper.
Oh,
Just look
okay.
at the screen. Which one are you referring to?
The first young man in the blue shirt.
Okay, in the blue shirt. So you recognize him?
Yes.
How do you recognize him? What was his involvement in this case?
He was the first person to come to the window, to my car window, and say,
Okay.
I'm sorry. He said, I'm sorry. It was my fault. I was not paying attention.
All right, so did you ever determine who the driver was of the other vehicle?
I assumed it was him because he said, I'm sorry. I was not paying attention.
So based on that, based on the comments, you determined that he was the driver of the car who hit you?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell me?
I don't think so, unless you need me to.
Here you go.
Sorry, let me put them on mute. I don't have any specific questions for you, but I want to make sure you have every opportunity to tell me anything else that you feel is necessary or appropriate.
In relation to that event at that night.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, everybody who responded was extremely polite. They all expressed concern for my well-being.
All right. And I guess I do have another question for you. The other gentleman, Sergeant Verbeest, who's here today and testified, he said that he responded to the scene and you weren't sure if you recognized him because somebody had a mask on, right?
Yes, yes.
But whoever it was, whether it was this person or someone else, did you relay this incident to that person when they arrived? In other words, the gentleman in the blue shirt you've identified as the one who came up and said, "I'm sorry, this was my fault." You've identified or determined that he was the driver. Did you convey all of that to the other law enforcement officers who appeared at the scene?
To be honest, sir, I don't remember. I remember him asking me, the second gentleman asking me for my license and my papers from the car. But I really don't recall having the conversation with him. I know he was talking to me, yes.
Okay, and that's all right, thank you. Mr. Stevenson, any questions for her?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Sergeant, anything else from you?
Yes, the information that was relayed that you mentioned earlier, Your Honor, was given to me by Trooper Samuel Garcia, who is in court today, who's right now present. If you need any testimony from him, he relayed the information to me, and based on the fellow officer rule, I was able to conduct my investigation. Also, upon my arrival, I also observed Deputy Cody Stevenson in actual physical control of the Collier County Sheriff's Department vehicle. He was seated in the vehicle with the engine on, and we spoke regarding the incident. So I was able to determine as well, because I was not able to speak to driver two, the Mrs. Larry, because she was transported from the scene. And then once I concluded my investigation, went to the hospital, she was already gone from the hospital. She was already discharged. So I was not able to speak with her regarding that.
So Mr. Stevenson was in the car upon your arrival?
Correct.
And based on your investigation, your observations at the scene, he was in the car that you determined caused the accident?
Yes.
Mr. Stevenson, anything else from you?
No, so I just wanted to clarify that, Sarge, you did not speak to the other party or the witness at this point?
Correct.
Okay. No other question.
Yeah, I didn't need to speak to them.
All right, that's okay. Mr. Stevenson, any argument from you?
No, I just like it. With the whole incident, I just want to state, yeah, I mean, I was sitting in the car because it's the vehicle that I'm patrolled to or whatnot, and I don't have any arguments. I just asked that. I don't see the cause of the careless citation to be issued when, one, he did not talk to the witness himself, nor did he see the crash occur himself.
All right, based on the testimony I've heard, I find that the infraction did occur.
Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
When I was being dismissed from the hospital, I was still sitting in a wheelchair in the waiting room, waiting to be picked up to get a ride home. There was an officer who came and spoke to me there. I honestly don't remember who it was, but there was an officer who came and spoke to me in the waiting room as after I was discharged, but I was still in the hospital.
All right. Well, based on the testimony I've heard, I had just found that the infraction did occur. So I found him guilty of the traffic infraction. The only remaining issue is the sentence to be imposed. Do you have any comment on that?
No, sir. I heard that he said that nobody spoke to me. And I heard him say I'd already been
We've
discharged.
moved beyond that. We've moved beyond that because I found him guilty. But I do want to give you a chance. If there's anything you want to say on the sentence, then I'm happy to hear what you have to say.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Sergeant, how about you? Anything on the sentence?
Just that based upon FHP policy, if we determine someone committed a violation of Florida state statute in reference to a crash investigation, it's in our policy that we shall issue a citation. So there's nothing personal.
I was dispatched. I did my job. I issued a citation. As far as leniency, I don't believe he has a record, and leave it to court discretion, Your Honor.
When you say you don't believe he has a record, you've searched his motor vehicle record and found no priors.
No, I did not look. I believe he does not have one. That's just my guess.
Okay.
Most of us don't have records. I don't.
Okay. Mr. Stevenson, anything from you before I impose a sentence?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a way that we can search that, I'm gonna contest or agree with Sarge. Yeah, no, my record's clean. I'm okay with being issued a fine because yes, my vehicle did hit her vehicle. I'm just trying to basically redact the points and keep any avoidances of fees or anything like that. Points.
I did check motor vehicle records, and he does not have a record, Sergeant. You are correct. It is a withhold of adjudication, $150 plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you to all three of you. Have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so let's see. We have Princiana DeRozier. Can you unmute and see if we have video this time? Ms. DeRozier is here. This is a recall. Trooper Taruz, I think you're still here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. DeRozier, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Your Honor.
All right, and you do have video. Okay.
Yes, I
so
do.
you are here on a speeding ticket. Are you ready for a hearing?
Yes, I am.
All right, can you both raise your right hand, take an oath? Do you swear to tell the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
All right, thank you. Trooper, go ahead, please.
Yes, Your Honor. On December 16, 2020, at approximately 7:14 p.m., I was on duty and on patrol in Collier County. It was a clear night. I was eastbound on I-75 at approximately the 97-mile marker. I was observing westbound traffic for speed violations. My patrol speed was approximately 77 miles an hour. I observed a Ford Focus sedan, silver in color, traveling at a high rate of speed in the inside lane. It was the lead vehicle at the time and rapidly distancing itself from traffic behind it. I estimated the speed of the vehicle to be 100 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone. I activated my agency-issued dual stalker radar, serial number Delta Charlie 110153, front antenna, and received a high auto Doppler tone consistent with that speed and a digital display of 104 miles an hour. I made a U-turn in the grass median and without losing sight of the vehicle conducted a traffic stop in the right paved shoulder of the 98-mile marker. I approached the passenger side to speak with the driver, who was later identified by her Florida driver's license as Princiana Jackie Dursher. And the driver was apologetic about her speed and stated she was looking for a gas station to use the restroom. Upon running the license plate of the vehicle, it showed it was expired since April 1st, 2020. And she was also issued a citation for expired tag of more than 6 months. All of the above events occurred in Collier County, Florida. Demeanor was good.
All right, thank you. Ma'am, is there anything you want to say?
No.
All right, well, based on the testimony then, I find that the infraction did occur. Adjudication, $350 plus costs, and a 4-hour course. Thank you both and have a great day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr. Carney? Mr. Carney
Yes,
is
sir.
here on a recall for Sanchez Sill. And Audalina is here. Audalina Vicente Perez with your translator. Can you please unmute?
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yes, thank you. All right,
Okay.
so Mr. Carney, we are ready to call our third and final witness, and that would be Miss Vicente Perez, to our translator. So you'll translate everything I say, right?
Yes, sir.
And then, of course, everything she says, I need you to translate back to English, okay?
Okay.
All right, ma'am, tell me your name, please.
Tu nombre. Audelina Vicente Pérez.
All right, and ma'am, were you involved in an accident?
¿Tú estabas involucrado en un accidente? Sí. Yeah. Yes.
And who is Miss Cortez?
¿Quién es Miss Cortez? It was the other witness, I think, that you already.
No. I know that. I'm asking her to tell me that. Just so please just translate. I appreciate you translating, but please don't answer my questions. I'm asking these questions for a reason. Miss Vicente Perez, who is Miss Cortez?
¿Quién es la señora Cortés? Araceli Cortés, ahora no, Cortés, no sé qué.
Was anyone with you at the time of this accident?
Si alguien más estaba el día del accidente.
Que si alguien venía, sí, iban varios en la van donde, la van que yo traía. Sí, iba como 13 personas.
Yes, she says there were 13 people in the van.
All right, can you tell me what happened in this case?
¿Qué es lo que pasó en la van?
Pues yo ya te di, yo iba para el trabajo y iba una van enfrente de mí.
Okay. She said she was going to work. She was driving the van.
Y ese van que yo traía en la van, entonces iba una van enfrente de mí y ese van salió a la derecha porque la otra van que iba enfrente de mí alcanzó a mirar que venía la troca en el carril mía.
Okay.
Y pues él alcanzó a tirarse a la derecha. Yo ya no pude hacer nada porque él llegó contra mí.
Okay, she says she was driving the van, and in front of her there was another van, and the other van veered to the side, to the outside of the road, because there was a vehicle coming head on, but she didn't have a chance to move to the right side, to the dirt. So it came straight to her, the truck.
All right, does she remember the color of the truck?
¿Te recuerdas el color de la troca?
Creo que es una troca azul.
A blue truck.
All right, and then what happened after that?
¿Qué pasó después de eso?
Ya no sé, no me recuerdo yo ya.
After that, she doesn't remember. All she remembers is the bright lights coming towards her.
All right, thank you. Mr. Carney, questions?
There was another van in front of you.
¿Había otra van enfrente de ti?
Sí, había otra, pero no sé quién era.
She says yes, she doesn't know who it was, but there was another van.
And did you speak to anyone after this happened?
¿Has hablado con alguien después del accidente?
No.
No.
Okay, Judge, I have nothing further here.
Argument?
Well, first of all, I don't believe we've had a proper identification as to who may be driving the other vehicle. Neither of the witnesses spoke regarding that. And I do believe that the trooper indicated that there was somebody standing next to a vehicle or truck, and that he found that that person was the registered owner of that truck. But I don't believe the trooper testified as to the name of the defendant or who the name of the person whom he identified. The other factor here is now that we're finding out that there was another van in front of this person, or Miss Perez's vehicle, and the possibility, or not, I'm not saying the possibility, I'm just stating that based on skid marks, based on gouging, based on any number of the traffic itself, there's some doubt as to what vehicle may have caused all of that. And based on the testimony and the lack of identification, I do believe that the defendant here should in fact be found not guilty. I don't believe there's enough testimony beyond a reasonable doubt as to what happened here and as to who the driver of the vehicle was.
All right, thank you. Based on Ms. Vicente Perez's testimony regarding this other van, Granted, I think this was the first testimony where we've actually heard about another van in front of hers, but I take that testimony to mean that the other van was successful, was able to successfully avoid the collision as the blue truck changed lanes heading toward the two vans. Unfortunately, Ms. Vicente Perez was not as fortunate. She was not able to avoid the collision, and she did testify that the truck that was approaching her into her lane was a blue truck, consistent with the trooper's testimony that I agree with you, Mr. Carney. He said that the individual registered owner of the vehicle was standing next to a blue Tacoma pickup truck upon his arrival, but the trooper went into great detail about the observations that he made. This is not protected information, but his personal observations of the accident scene from brake marks. He indicated he could tell the tires locked up. He could tell that it changed lanes into oncoming traffic. He testified to the heavy gouge marks, the glass, the shattered glass at the scene, all indicative of the location of the collision. And importantly, he testified that the gentleman standing outside of the blue truck had marks on him consistent with the driver's side seatbelt. And my testimony is that Trooper Diaz did testify that the registered owner is Emerson Sanchez Sell. And so I find that testimony is sufficient to tie him to this blue Tacoma pickup truck and to establish that he was the driver at the time. So I find that the infraction did occur. Mr. Carney, do you have any comments before I impose a sentence?
I do note that we've not had testimony as to the level of any injury, Judge, competent testimony, and I do note that the individual does not has nothing on his record.
So I'm going to disagree with you. The only problem there is I forgot to mention it in my comments recently, but I agree, Ms. Vicente Perez did not comment on her injuries, but Ms. Cortez did. And I just forgot to recite that as a factual finding. But clearly she testified to 5 broken ribs on one side, a 5th broken rib on the other side. You remember she also testified that she had a broken nose, and she said that she is permanently blinded in the left eye.
Well, Judge, I heard that she could not see from her left eye, but I do not know that there's been no, and that was the reason I was asking about her doctor and medical treatment. We've not had any competent testimony as to the detailed level of what her injuries were. I understand what she has suffered, but I don't know that there's testimony as to that level of her injury.
Well, you're right. She didn't use the word permanent, but she did say, I cannot see out of my left eye. And
well, we don't know how long that
is. She is certainly competent to testify to whether or not she can see out of her left eye. She's certainly competent to testify that she suffered a broken nose and 5 broken ribs, all of which does satisfy the requirement of serious bodily injury. So I find the infraction did occur as charged. It's an adjudication of guilt, a $500 fine plus costs, a 12-hour driver improvement course, and a 3-month DL revocation. Thank you, Mr. Carney. Thank you, Ms. Vicente Perez, and thank you, Trooper. Yes, Mr. Carney.
Hey, Your Honor, have a good day.
One is is there objection to him getting a hardship type license?
Yes.
All right. And the other factor here is I do not think the statute requires that there be an adjudication, especially when he has a record with nothing on it.
Right, but given the factors in this case, including the injuries suffered by one of the individuals involved, the sentence stands.
All right, that's fine, sir. All right, that is what I have.
All.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, we've called this case before. I think he wasn't able to hear us. Salvatore Moliterno. Salvatore Moliterno, I see that you're here. Can you hear me, sir?
I can hear you. Can you hear me, Judge?
Yes, I hear someone. Is that Mr. Moliterno?
Yes, it is. Mr. Moliterno, yes.
Are you listed as BEVMO?
Yeah, I had to go to my wife's laptop because my other computer didn't have a voice or a camera.
So that's fine, but I don't see you. If I can't see you, you won't be able to testify.
You can't
Do you
see
have
me?
video there? No, sir, I can only hear you.
Well, I don't know how to get the camera on.
Oh,
Is there?
let's see. Start video.
Okay. Let's see.
How's that, Judge?
Still can't see you.
Oh, shoot. Wait. Go ahead. Put this thing on the screen.
This while you're checking, can I talk to you at the same time while you're looking into that?
It says it's unable to detect the camera. Maybe I don't have one.
Oh, yeah, you might not on your device. So this is a traffic control device based on a red light.
Yes.
And if I can't see you, let me just explain the significance of that. If I cannot see you, then I cannot administer the oath. I have to be able to see you and hear you in order to administer the oath. So I can't administer the oath, which means I can't allow you to testify. I can only allow the sergeant to testify. He is here and I can see him. So we can have a hearing and you would be able to listen to it, but you wouldn't be able to participate.
Or
unless you can figure that out, or you can resolve your case with a plea of no contest, and the sentence would be a withhold of adjudication, which means no points, a $100 fine plus court costs.
Agreed.
Okay, so you accept that offer.
Absolutely.
All right, Sergeant. Okay, so that's the order of the court. Sergeant, you heard that happen, and I know you've been waiting patiently along with Mr. Moliterno, but no hearing is necessary. He's entered a plea.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you, Sergeant, and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Moliterno. You all are free to go, but please understand you need to contact the clerk of courts right away to schedule payments, okay?
Absolutely. Thank you, Judge.
All right. Yes, sir. Thank you both. Have a good day. All right. So I show that we've addressed every case. Tommy, how do you feel about that? Do you agree?
I agree, Your Honor.
So we have, let's see, I still have 4 people here logged in. I know Bevmo, that's Mr. Moliterno. He's logged in twice, actually. Yes. How about Alexander something, O-M-A?
Yes, sir, that is me. It's Alexander Omar Rivera.
Mr. Omar Rivera, and you believe you have a traffic ticket today?
I absolutely do. I have the confirmation of Collier County Courts with me as well, confirming for today at 1:30.
What's the case number, please? There's something
One moment,
TR.
I'll open the document.
All right. It should look like
TR. I got it. Yeah, it's 11-22-TR-0252-0001-XX.
So, Your Honor, it looks like it was continued to March 10th.
The hearing has been continued. So was that me or was that a different judge?
No, that was Judge Nicola.
Oh, a different judge continued your hearing to March 10th.
So is there any possible way that I could possibly get an email explaining with the same court information? That way I could be able to sign it to the Zoom.
An email? You'll receive notice in the mail. Tommy, it'll be a hard copy via mail, right?
That's correct.
Not an email.
Correct.
You can tell us what your is your mailing address on 67th Avenue?
No, I just changed my license. That's why I was trying to update it.
Well, if you
I've already
wanna tell
updated
us,
on the.
All right, if you want to tell us your new mailing address, we can write it down.
Please, I would appreciate that. Yes, sir.
All right, Tommy, are you ready?
I'm ready. Go ahead.
All right, go ahead, sir.
You got it. It is 15500 Southwest 127th Avenue, apartment 201, Miami, Florida 33155.
Okay, so that's 15500 Southwest 127th Avenue, apartment 201, 33155.
I'm so sorry. Everything is correct, but the zip code is 33177.
33177. Sorry about that. All right, we'll send out a new notice.
So,
Thank you so
Mr.
much.
Rivera, I'm sorry for the delay here today, but you're free to go and you'll get a new notice for that next court date, okay?
Thank you, sir.
All right, yes, sir. Have a good day. Tommy, can we be done?
I say yes.
I am tired. Miss Vicente Perez, you're free to sign off.
I
That
think
hearing
they're
is
having
concluded.
trouble figuring it out.
Figuring out, okay. So that'll maybe just happen once I log out here
Yeah.
in the meeting. But I believe every case has been addressed. We don't have anything else to do, right?
No.
All right, then we are adjourned. Excellent.